Live from George Sparky Anderson Field. I hope everybody enjoyed their day off because we have a good one today for you on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. Welcome up with the press box, everybody, along with Jordan Brenner, our producer Sean McKinnon, our stat assistant and social media expert Tony Ty. My name is Jonathan Rifkind. Happy to be with you on a beautiful Tuesday afternoon from Thousand Oaks, California. It's the Oaks and the Foresters, round one of a six-round bout between these two arch rivals starts today, and it is going to be a good one. Under 22-year man Bill Pintard, the Foresters are 9-0 on the season, 6-0 in CCL play, and boy, those games haven't even been close. We'll get into those in just a moment. The Oaks, under 11-year man Dave Solis, are 5-5 on this season, 4-5 in the CCL. Well, Jordan, the Foresters are absolutely stacked. They're batting .333 as a team through the first 9 games of the season. Their team ERA is a 1.78. They no-hit the Blues for the third time in team history on Saturday. Listen to this run differential. In the first 9 games, they've scored 75 runs, and they've only allowed 24. How do the Oaks, who have been so streaky on offense, coming off a 9-1 win, mind you, hit against a team like this?
Well, the Santa Barbara Foresters, let's put it this way, they're a different animal. You know, they come to the ballpark ready to eat. Well, guess what? The Conejo Oaks are a different-looking team than they were just a week ago. Today you're adding Chase Cockrell. He's going to be a rock in the middle of this lineup. You pair him with Brandon Lewis and Elijah Alexander. This lineup has the potential to be one of, if not the best, in the CCL. They can go up against the likes of a team like the Foresters. They have the talent to win, and with the addition of Cockrell, Coach Solis is able to do something that he hasn't been able to do with this lineup very much. Shake it around. And I like what he's doing today. He's putting Brandon Lewis up in the 2 spot. He's getting him more at-bats that way. Elijah Alexander is not leading off. He's going to be a 3-hole hitter because what he's really good at doing is driving the ball and driving people in. And then Cockrell at 4. Just another layer of depth to this lineup that should be scary and definitely fun to watch.
Let's talk about Chase Cockrell a little bit. He's an Oaks returner. He batted over .320 last year. He batted .317 for Ole Miss this season. Good for third on the team. He led the team in slugging percentage with .539 stint. And he was named a finalist for the Dick Hauser Trophy, which is named for the #1, the top player in college baseball. He was one of 35 finalists. Chase Cockrell on this Conejo Oaks roster is going to make this offense scary. You pair him with Brandon Lewis and Elijah Alexander, and this top of the order is going to be smoking opposing batters. But on the other side, you have the Foresters. You have Logan Allen from Arkansas Portsmouth. You have Ryan Cash, a returner who batted over .350 last year in the CCL.
And Chase Illig as well.
Yeah, of course. But going back to Ryan, he's batting .500. He joined the team on Tuesday. He's batting exactly .500 to this point. You have Chase Illig, who's batting very close, I believe .522. No, .480. That did drop a little bit. But regardless, this team is stacked. As I mentioned, the Foresters as a team are batting .333. They're 9-0. And for those who don't remember, this team is the arch rival of the Oaks. This is one of the most touted rivalries ever, period. No argument. They split the season series last year, 3 games to 3 games. And I was talking to the Foresters broadcaster, John Martoni, before the game. And he said, remember on the 4th of July 2 years ago when a bunch of players got ejected and both coaches got ejected? I said, yeah. He said, well, both these coaches seem pretty intense, so that may happen this season again. Both these teams know how intense this rivalry is. I talked to guys on the Oaks who have never been on the Oaks before, Bailey Holbrook, Elijah Alexander, a new pitcher, and Jonathan Friedman, who is a transfer from the Cape Cod that's going to help solidify this team. And I said, this is your first game against the Foresters. Do you know what this means? And they all looked at me and said, absolutely. This is one of the most premier teams in the world in summer collegiate play. It would be big for the Oaks not only to get a win today, but to hand them their first loss. The Foresters, of course, sitting at first place in the CCL. The Oaks are a game out of the playoff race, which is the top 4 teams. They're sitting at 5th right now, a game behind the SoCal Catch-a-Catch team, though, that has a game pending with the Oaks. They are tied 4-4 going to the 10th inning. That game will be played out on July 6th. Well, let's get you the starting lineups. We'll give you the Forester starting lineup here in the top of the first inning in the Oaks field, and then the Oaks starting lineup in the bottom of the first inning and the Foresters field. Leading off and playing right field out of Arkansas Fort Smith is Logan Allen. Ryan Cash batting behind him, playing second base from Oklahoma State. In the third spot is Luke Ritter out of left field from Wichita State University. Cleaning up for the Foresters is the power hitter out of West Virginia, Chase Illick. He's DHing in today's game. Utah Jones bats behind him, playing first base from North Greenville. Michael Newstifter is playing third base from Oklahoma State, batting in the 6th spot. In the 7th spot is Andrew Wiss, out in center field from Air Force. In the 8th spot, and playing catcher from Cal State Fullerton, is Cameron Guamgarana. And in the 9th spot is Brandon Zarazoga, playing shortstop from Oklahoma. The Conejo Oaks field, and I'll give you a reiteration of their field right before the first pitch. Out and right is Michael Spears, Elijah Alexander in center, and the brand new addition to this season's roster, the Oaks returner, Chase Cockrell, out and left. The USC Trojan, Bart West, occupies first. Tanner Wright, the Cal Lutheran product, at second. Sam Shakin from Valparaiso playing short. Brandon Lewis from Pierce headed to USER. Irvine in the fall is at third. Behind the dishes, the UNLV catcher, Zach Kamenko. And on the mound, getting his 3rd start of the season and 5th appearance, Brandon Ponticelli. Let's talk about Brandon Ponticelli a little bit. He's had some rough starts. His first 2 starts saw him giving up more runs, I think, than he wanted to. He comes in today with just over a 7 ERA. But in his last outing against the SoCal Catch, he threw some bullpen, right? And he came in a little bit late in the game. He pitched an inning and a third. He struck out 1, no walks. And that was a pretty good outing for him because of the struggles that he has had. Again, coming into today, he has just over a 7 ERA, and his first 2 starts were a little bit subpar, if you will, but Ponticelli is a great locator. He has the stuff, but he just has to find a way to locate it in the strike zone where batters aren't expecting it. And I think that's something he's finally starting to get. And today's the day to prove it against the Foresters.
Yeah, and also I'll say about Ponticelli, he's got swing and miss stuff. He's got some of the best stuff on this Oaks team. Like a lot of other Oaks, he's struggled commanding the zone early on in the season, but you're right, last start gave me a lot of hope that he can continue to build on this summer season and eventually become one of the best pitchers on this team.
For the Kansas Jayhawk, 3 starts, 4 appearances. He has an 0-1 record, a 7.71 ERA. He has given up 12 hits, which leads the team, but again, he has pitched 7 innings, which is good for 3rd on the team as well. 6 runs, all were earned, 6 strikeouts, and only 3 walks. So I think the walks, that to me stands out. Only 3 walks in the first 7 innings against teams that are pretty patient overall. We've seen the Oaks walk 12 batters in a game, 13 batters in a game, 8 batters in a game. But Brandon Ponticelli hasn't been a part of that culture. And I think that that's a very big positive for him and for the Oaks coming out there because he does throw strikes. He doesn't shy away from batters. He's not upset. When he gives up hits, he goes right at them every single time. And eventually that has to start paying off.
I think the mentality today for Ponticelli is get through 5 innings because with the day off yesterday, this Oaks bullpen is fresh. And when they're fresh, there are a lot of pieces that can shut you down. Angus Denton, John Vergara, Eric Mall, all have been so good early in the season. If you could get 5 quality innings from Ponticelli, hand it off to your bullpen, and trust your lineup that is starting to heat up, I think the Oaks could hand the Foresters their first loss of the year.
Well, all of that is to be determined when we come back. This national anthem and the first pitch. You're watching Oaks and Foresters, round 1 of 6 of the season, right here on the Oaks Baseball Broadcasting Network. We'll be right back. Nice acoustic rendition of our nation's anthem here from Sparky Anderson Field. The Oaks and the Foresters. Game number 1 of what will be a very fun season series. These two teams split the season series last year, 3 games apiece, and both these sides are ready for the greatest rivalry in summer collegiate baseball, and in any sport in the world. We'll give you the starting lineups once again and the field for those who are just joining us on a beautiful Tuesday afternoon from Thousand Oaks, California. So we get a ecstatic play ball from one of our youngsters here at the press box, a new initiative for the coach, allowing some kids to do some starting lineups as well as get the crowd hyped, a crowd that is slowly but surely filing in, and the area is ready for the Foresters and the Oaks. Another reiteration of the starting lineup for you for the Santa Barbara Foresters, coming in at 9-0, 6-0 in the CCL. Logan Allen playing right field from Arkansas. Fort Smith will lead off. Ryan Cash from Oklahoma State, is playing second base, batting second. Luke Ritter is batting third, out in left field from Wichita State. Batting cleanup for the Foresters and DHing from West Virginia University is Chase Illig. Utah Jones bats behind him, playing first base from North Greenville. In the 6th spot is Michael Newstifter, playing third base from Oklahoma State. Andrew Wiss is behind him, out in center field from Air Force. In the 8th spot is Cameron Guagmorena, playing catcher from Cal State Fullerton. And Brandon Zarazoga, playing shortstop from Oklahoma, is the 9th and final batter of the Forester lineup. On the mound for them from UNLV will be Connor Woods. The Oaks field out and right from Ole Miss is Michael Spears, and center Elijah Alexander from UTRGV. Chase Cockrell, the new player addition to the roster this year, but a returner for the Oaks. Also, as I mentioned earlier, a finalist for the Dick Hauser Trophy, which is for the best player in college baseball, is out there in left field for the Oaks. Bart West from USC is at first base. The Cal Lutheran slugger Tanner Wright at second base. From Valparaiso, Sam Shakin playing short. Brandon Lewis, who's from Pearson, headed to UC Irvine in the fall, is at third. And the UNLV catcher, Zach Kamiko, is behind the dish for the Oaks. On the mound in his 4th start and 5th overall appearance is Brandon Ponticelli out of Kansas. The Oaks are sporting their navy blues today with white letters on the front, outlined by baby blue, and white letters on the back. The Foresters are in their maroon with blue letters on the front, outlined by white. First pitch is a strike over the heart of the plate to Logan Allen. First pitch time, 5:09. 76 degrees and a slight breeze out to right field. Also not cloudy. A little bit different than our Father's Day. 0-1 pitch, foul tipped into the glove of Kamiko for strike number 2. 91 miles an hour in the gun. Not too bad here early for Ponticelli.
Yeah, I was about to say, there is a different energy at the ballpark today with players, with the fans. Everybody's amped up.
0-2 pitch, runs away. 1-2 the count. Everybody's excited for Foresters and Oaks. The hottest summer collegiate rivalry of any of the summer collegiate leagues in the country. There are a lot of them, but nothing compares. Also, the Foresters, one of the best teams summer collegiate-wise in the country. 1-2 offering. Popped up, out of play. 1-2 the count once again. For the man on the mound, goes by the name Brandon Ponticelli. There was a slider and a cutter, both very effectively. For a starter to only have 2 pitches, not necessarily something that you'd normally think would be successful, but for Ponticelli it worked as that pitch is fouled out of play. 1-2 the count once again. Give you the dimensions here in just a moment. 1-2 offering as Ponticelli waits and offers. Popped back once again. Logan Allen fighting to stay alive here. Faces a 1-2 count. Left field is 325. Left center is 375. Straightaway center is one of the longest in the CCL at 400. Right center is 370. And right field is 320. This is a lefty-friendly ballpark for sure, especially with that wind blowing out to right. 1-2 pitch, slapped foul into the parking lot. And once again, we'll do it at 1-2 strikes.
Yeah, this Foresters team, they're so difficult at the plate. They're not going to, give up at bats with 2 strikes. They're going to continue to fight. The Oaks have to be really prepared on defense.
1-2 pitch, misses low, much to the chagrin of the Oaks, high, much to the chagrin of the Oaks dugout. Nonetheless, though, 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2 slice to right field, though Spears doesn't really have to move to make the catch. For out number 3, the Oaks get one out up on the board, and they are trying to stifle a red-hot Forester team. As I mentioned, 9-0 on the season, 6-0 in CCL play. They're batting .333 as a team. They no-hit the Slow Blues on Saturday, the third no-hitter in team history. A 1.78 team ERA, and the run score differential is amazing. In the first 9 games, they've scored 75 runs as a team, and they've only allowed 24. To put that in perspective here, as Ryan Cash steps in, the first pitch to him is cut on and missed for strike 1. Through the first 12 games of the Oaks season, the team is batting .231. They have a 3.86 team ERA. They've scored 56 runs and allowed 43. The 0-1 pitch slapped to short, shaken on the second hop, fires it over to first for out number 2.
Good play by Shaken, as always, at third. He has a way to move his feet that, a lot of collegiate shortstops don't. I mean, he's really gifted on the defensive end, and he makes it look easy.
Ryan Cash was batting a clean .500 before that, but is now going to face just under a .500 batting average the next time he steps up to the plate. The returner from Wichita State, Luke Ritter, stepping in now as the first pitch to him is a strike over the heart of the plate. Well thrown there from Ponticelli.
And Ritter not having his best start of the season, but definitely a lot of belief in Ritter coming from Wichita State.
One of the best players out of that side of Missouri. That pitch misses low and away, 1-0 the count.
Yeah, only a .241 on average. No home runs quite yet. But the Foresters expecting him to heat up, and heat up soon.
The 1-1. Cracked foul, 1-2 the count.
And
go ahead.
Sorry, Jonathan. You could just see that bat speed that Ritter displays. It's different. Yeah, I mean, you see some of these guys, and you try to analyze them. Why are they so much better? They've just passed the eye test. Different speed, different power. You can see that.
Slaps that one to third. Lewis can't handle it as that goes into left field for what may be an error by the Oaks third baseman.
I think it should be. Lewis was in perfect positioning. It went off of his glove. It was a bad hop, as you often see here at Cal-Lu, but an unfortunate start on the defensive end for a team that has struggled defensively all season long.
By the way, Luke Ritter played 55 games this past year for Wichita State. He batted .341.
Wow.
Unbelievable, and right there he gets on with 2 outs via the error by Brandon Lewis. Lewis's third error of the season.
You better be careful to Illick. Leads the CCL in home runs.
The power-hitting left-hander takes a home run swing but misses for strike 1.
Yeah, and you mentioned this is a left-handed friendly ballpark. Illick knows that. He wants to take advantage of this road trip and just launch some out to right field.
Plays his collegiate ball at West Virginia. Cracks that one down the first base line, but foul. 0-2 the count. A couple of returners here for the Foresters. Ryan Cash, Luke Ritter, Andrew Wiss, and Brandon Zarazoga. But the rest of the team, overall, is brand spanking new, but they are just unbelievable. And for those who remember, the Foresters last year won the Wichita WBC Classic. That pitch misses inside, gets away from Kamenko, and Ritter takes second base, I should say, on the wild pitch. For the West Virginia product in the batter's box, this past season, batted .206. An off year, but overall, still pretty effective. Played 22 games. Steps back in, the 1-2 offering. Cracked over to first, but foul. Will do it once again, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And let me just add, when you're playing an offense as good as the Foresters, you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot give them free runs. So you see a man on second base. He reached first on the air, went to second on the pass ball. A base hit here would just be so upsetting for Coach Solis and the Oaks.
Ponticelli toes the rubber, takes the sign. 1-2 offering, misses up and away, evens the count now. 2s across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away, a man on second. The Oaks do have Jackson Simonsgard throwing in the bullpen, but that's because of his rehab assignment. Got injured his final year playing community college ball. He's headed to Rogers State, and I have a story about him that I'll tell here in a couple of innings, but He really wants to play the Foresters as Ponticelli steps off. His best starts in his Oaks career, which had been 5 years, have been against the Santa Barbara Foresters. And I talked to him before the game, and he said, I have to say, number one, I don't like the Foresters, and I made sure that they all knew that. Number two, it kills me that I can't be out there, but the best I can do is support my team. Simonsgaard, one of the loudest guys on this team. 2-2 pitch, called strike three on the outside corner. Illig strikes out looking on a fastball. And the Foresters strand a runner in scoring position. No runs, no hits, no errors, or one error. One left on base. Top of the first is gone. The Oaks will look to get on the board first as we hit the bottom of the first inning after this on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. Back here in the bottom of the first inning. No scores. The Oaks will look to take their first offensive hacks of the ball game. Sam Shakin will lead things off out of Valparaiso. Brandon Lewis behind him out of UC Irvine, and Elijah Alexander out of University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley are the first three due up for the Oaks. I'll give you the rest of their lineup here after the first pitch from Connor Woods, the UNLV Rebel. Went 1-1 this past year in 24 games, had a 6.83 ERA. First pitch misses low and away for ball one. Cleaning up for the Oaks and playing left field from Ole Miss in his first game of the 2018 season, but returning from last year is Chase Cockrell. Michael Spears bats behind him from Ole Miss. It's the 1-0 pitch is a strike over the heart of the plate, 1-1 the count. Michael Tillman is in the 6th spot. Bart West in the 7th spot from USC. Zach Kamenko is in the 8th spot from UNLV, and in the 9th spot for the Oaks, Tanner Wright from Cal Lutheran. Give you the Forrester Field here in a moment. 1-1 pitch, slapped out of play, 1-2 the count. Logan Allen's in right, Andrew Wiss is in center, Luke Ritter is in left. Utah Jones occupies first, Ryan Cash and Brandon Zarazoga, the second baseman and shortstops. Michael Newstifter is at third base, and Cameron Guamgarena is behind the dish. The 1-2 pitch to Shakin misses upstairs, 2-2 the count.
And again, this is a new spot for Shakin, who most of the year he's hit fourth in the order. He's leading off today. Coach Salih's shaking things up.
Well, he led off for the Oaks 2 days ago as he slaps that one over to shortstop. Zarazoga makes the catch. That obviously broke his bat. You could tell from the sound that it made. That's one out. He did lead off for the Oaks two days ago and ended up going 2 for 5 with an RBI and 2 singles. Right there pops out to Zarazoga for out number 1, and Brandon Lewis will step in. Batting .275 on the season. He does lead the team in hits with 11 and in doubles with 4. He also has 5 stolen bases, which leads the team, which is not something that is necessarily on his repertoire, but he's pretty speedy for his size. Takes a strike at the knees. He does have a home run and 5 RBIs to his name so far this season as well. Woods deals the 0-1. Sliced down the third baseline very far, but very foul. 0-2 count to Brandon Lewis. On the season so far for Mr. Woods, as I mentioned, out of UNLV, in 3 2/3 innings pitched, he has a 2.46 ERA with 3 total strikeouts. The 0-2. Skied to center field. Wiss, moving to his right, makes the catch for out number 2. Just like that, 2 quick outs now for Elijah Alexander. He's been kind of moving around the order a little bit. Today, batting in the 3rd spot, was in the 5th spot 2 days ago, and was in the 8th spot 3 days ago. So really making his presence felt all over the lineup. So he steps in on the season, batting .241, leads the team in home runs with 2 and RBIs with 8. Takes the first pitch low for ball 1. A Ventura College product who absolutely lit up the Camarillo area, both in high school and in community college. Batted over .280 for UTRGV. As he pops that one back, 1-2 the count. Takes a couple of practice swings, and he always has a smile on his face. He's very positive. He's always into the game. He's into the music. Sean and I talked about when Sean was on the broadcast with me on Sunday about how Sean really likes him because he gets into his walk-up music as he slices that one foul, 1-2 the count. And you never really see that. You never really see players dance to their walk-up music. Normally they're focused and keyed in on their mission, which is to hit the ball into the field. But Elijah Alexander knows what he has to do. He knows he has a talent, so he kind of goes in with this loose aura, and it actually works for him. As he skies that one to right center field. That's going to drop him, maybe good for extra bases. He rounds first, goes to second as Wiss fires it over to second. Not in time. Diving in head first with a 2-out double is Elijah Alexander.
I love that hustle from Alexander. He could have packed up and called it a day at first base. That just dropped into right field. But that was a hustle double. You like to see that these guys understand this game is big. Every base matters, and that's why Alexander took the extra base and put the Oaks in position to strike first.
Chase Cockrell now making his 2018 debut with the Oaks from Ole Miss. As I mentioned, a Dick Hauser semifinalist as that first pitch misses low and away for ball 1. For the best player in college baseball, was 3rd on the team with a 324 at Ole Miss, an Ole Miss team that just missed the College World Series. And he is excited to be back with Oaks. I talked to him before the game, and I asked him, how does it feel to be back? He said, I couldn't be happier. Woods deals, though, 1. Slice over to short. Zarazoga is on the infield grass. Outfield grass, I should say, but can't make a play. And Cockrell has an infield single. Back-to-back 2-out singles, puts runners at the corners for the Oaks. And 2 away for the other Ole Miss Rebel and Michael Spears. Finally had his first hit in an Oaks uniform last game. Was 0 for his first 18 plate appearances, but now 1 for 19. And he's actually had a pretty positive attitude. You have to admire him. Not every player can stay positive after having the start that he has, but smiling, he's excited, and he has the talent to really erupt. The first pitch to him was a strike at the knees.
Man, Chase Cockrell is a different type of big. I guess they grow him differently where he's from, man. Wow.
Absolutely. Takes a 1.5 lead off of first. Woods throws the rubber, deals the 0-1, a waving swing and a miss for strike 2 from Spears. For Cockrell last year with the Oaks, he ended his season batting 4th on the team with a .297 stint. He also had 6 home runs, which tied Grant Mayu for 2nd on the team. Brandon Lewis had 8. Woods deals, though, 2. Cracked over the short this time. Zarazoga fields it, tosses it underhand to Cash at 2nd for the force out, and out number 3. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. A pair left on base. We're through 1 full inning. No score between the Oaks and the Foresters right here on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. We will be right back. Utah Jones from North Greenville leads us off here on the top of the second inning. Welcome back, everybody. Jordan Brenner, myself, Jonathan Rifkin, Sean McKinnon on hand with you. No score between the Oaks and the Foresters on a lovely Tuesday afternoon as the first pitch from Ponticelli over to Utah Jones is a strike on the outside corner. Really lovely day here for baseball, perhaps the best that we have seen all season long as Ponticelli offers the 0-1. Bunt is shown, it gets down, back to Ponticelli, turns, fires to first, but it's not in time, and Utah Jones is on with a bunt single to lead off the second inning for the Foresters.
Talk about a perfectly placed bunt. There you just saw it. Utah Jones, I knew it immediately right when it came off the bat. That was a very tough play for Ponticelli on the mound, fading away from first base. Utah Jones just too fast.
Coming to that at bat, batting .276 with 6 RBIs, which is good for tied on third for the Foresters, or for third on the Foresters, I should say. That brings up Michael Newstifter, playing third base, one of 2 Oklahoma State Cowboys in this lineup. Of course, Ryan Cashew grounded out to short. His first time up was the other one. Takes a strike at the belt for strike 1. The Oaks have to be careful. Utah Jones over at first on the season is 1 for 1 in stolen bases, and by the looks of how he hustled over to first base after that bunt, he has some speed. Takes a 2.5-step lead off of first. Ponticelli toes the rubber. Pearson fires the 0-1 pitch upstairs, evens the count. By the way, feel free to tweet at us at Caneo_Oaks. I'm at Johnny Riff with ONF, and Jordan's at Jordan Brenner 31. Sean McKinnon, our producer, is at McKinnon_Sean. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on. Top of the second, Ponticelli offers. Cracked over the third. Taylor made for a double play. Lewis over to right for 1, and there will be no relay as Jones made a great slide to disrupt the double play. Nonetheless, though, a fielder's choice. 5-4 puts the leadoff runner out, and Michael Newstifter on first base with 1 away.
B. Lou had a tough play there. I don't think he was going to be able to get Newstifter at first base. So he took the smart out at second base. Needed to fire a bullet, but Tanner Wright did the right thing, covered in time, and beautiful play for an out.
Andrew Wiss now from Air Force stepping in on the season for Wiss in 20 at-bats. He's batting .294. 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. First pitch lined over to short, right backhanded over to Shaken, and he misses Shaken over to third base. That is a bad error on a tailor-made double play ball. All runners are safe at first and second, and that will be the second error on the day for the Oaks infield. A tough play nonetheless. Wright was turning to his weak side, to his left, and tried pushing the ball to Shaken. It went behind Shaken, and that is an unfortunate error. Michael Newstifter reaches second base safely, and Andrew Wiss is at first for Cameron Guamcorena.
Again, the errors for the Oaks. They got away with it in the first inning, but you cannot keep making errors against a team like this and expect to defeat them.
Guamcorena on the season, batting .182, though, in only 14 plate appearances. 1 strikeout, 2 walks. First pitch is a ball outside. I mentioned how nice today is. On Sunday, we had to call 2 baseball games, 1 for the Oaks and also 1 for the Jim Parker All-Star game that took place before, and it was cold, it was rainy, it was windy, it was by far and away the worst June day you can have in Southern California. So we're definitely blessed to have the nice weather back. 1-0 pitch is a strike on the outside corner. Guamcorena headed to Cal State Fullerton in the fall as the only former high schooler who has yet to see a pitch of summer ball on this Forester roster. Of course, the Oaks have one as well, and Andrew Lucas, who's getting the day off. The Cal State Fullerton, of course, had an incredible run, ended up losing in the Super Regional, but this is the second Cal State Fullerton on the roster. For those who remember Hank Lafort, the incredible power-hitting second baseman who led Cal State Fullerton with a .356 batting average this past season, was on the Foresters for the last 2 years. The 1-1 cracked foul, 1-2 the count now. Ponticelli is doing something smart. He's keeping the pitches low. He's trying to force Guamcorena and the rest of this Forester team to keep hitting ground balls. Yes, your infield has made some errors, but at the end of the day, you still have to trust them. And Ponticelli's keeping them low, trying to force the issue, get some ground balls, and allow his middle infield to turn 2 if possible. These 2 errors on the game for the Oaks. They only had 1 in Sunday's game against the Barons. That was a 9-1 win. And they didn't have any on the Saturday game against the Cash. Pitch misses away, 2-2 the count. Ponticelli is the normal Tuesday starter for the Oaks. The rotation is coming set. Appleby was injured last week, though he is slated to go tomorrow against the Arroyo Seco Saints. But Thursday, Friday, days off, and a doubleheader in Healdsburg on Saturday. 2-2 pitch, fouled off the glove of Kamenko. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count remains. No runs, a hit, no errors for the Oaks. No runs, 2 hits, 2 errors for the Stirs. And it's funny because the Foresters are folks who take care of trees, and the Conejo Oaks are trees. So you'd think that the Foresters would want to take care of the Oaks, right? Just by affiliation of their name. That 2-2 pitch is cracked down. We'll do it again, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Ponticelli's doing a really good job. He's changing speeds. He's anywhere from 78 to 91 so far today, the cutter-fastball combination. But it seems like it's more, he throws 2 different types of cutter, one in the 90s and one in the lower 80s.
His second cutter almost looks more like a fast changeup because he takes something off of it. 2-2. Bounces in the dirt. Good block by Kamenko. Bringing us to our first full count on the ball game. And a lot of Forester fans to our right at the edge of their seats waiting to see how Guam Guarena will approach this 3-2 count with 1 away and 2 on here. The Oaks have only scored first in 2 of their first 10 games. And they're 2-0 when they do score first, but they've had to play from behind otherwise. 3-2 pitch, misses low and away, ball 4, and that loads up the bases here for the number 9 batter in the lineup, Brandon Zarazoga, and he is in a good spot with only 1 out. If he can launch one and avoid a double play, the Foresters could take an early 1-0 lead. First walk given up on the day here for Brandon Ponticelli. He only has 3 all season coming into today, so it's still a good number. Now in his 9th inning pitched. His control's been really good, but that one got away from him.
And Zaragoza, this is his first at-bat for the Foresters. We'll see if he can, make his presence felt immediately.
A returner for this team from last season takes a first pitch ball, 0 and away. Goes to Oklahoma. The colors for the Foresters are a little bit more maroon, but he's pretty used to being in a red jersey, I guess. Just finished up his sophomore season. At 274 in 59 games with the Sooners. Cracks that one down and foul, strike 1. He actually batted 251 his freshman campaign, so slight improvement, but a big improvement. And to be able to bat 251 in your freshman year at an SEC baseball school is not easy. So you know that he definitely has a talent. He was named an All-Big 12 freshman player his freshman season. Led the team with a .975 fielding percentage as well. 1 ball, 1 strike. Towing the rubbers, Ponticelli, bases all juiced. Fires it in. Cracked over the short. This one is tailor-made. Shaken to right. Over to West, not in time. The 6-4 put out, puts an out up on the board to put 2 outs in total on the inning, but coming around and scoring is Michael Newstifter. Early here in the 2nd inning, the Foresters take a 1-0 lead. That run is unearned.
And Shaken at shortstop. It was a perfect double play ball. He struggled getting it out of his glove just for 1 second, and that was the difference between only 1 out and a double play.
Andrew Wiss is over at third. At first is Brandon Zarazoga. Guam Guarena goes back to the bench. And Logan Allen will step in here. First pitch to him is taken for a ball. He's 0 for 1 on the day with a fly out to center. Arkansas Fort Smith player. The Foresters are mostly composed of Division I players, but the non-Division I players that they have, which are 2 D2 players and 1 more Park College guy, are all very good. Pitch misses upstairs, 2-0 the count. Everything about this team is good. They're kind of like the Alabama football, but for summer collegiate baseball. Every year they're scary, every year they're good. They always represent the CCL in Wichita after the season in early August. And, of course, their head coach, Bill Pintard, a Hall of Fame scout. He's been doing it for years and is one of the best. 2-0 pitch belts the left temple on the helmet of Logan Allen. That is why you wear a helmet, kids. Loads up the bases one again. Hit by a pitch here, the first of the ball game, and Ponticelli, after pitching a pretty good first inning, is struggling here.
And yeah, it's hard to blame Ponticelli. He's been pitching pretty well. When you don't have your defense behind you, you know, all of your mistakes, you know, there's a magnifying glass over them. They're made to seem bigger than they actually are.
Wiss at third, Sarazoga at second, and Allen at first. Ryan Cash stepping in, the best hitter on this team. Goes back to the mound on that one, though, as Ponticelli underhands it over to first. And he said, well, if my infield can't get it done, I'll get it done himself. 1 run on 1 hit, 1 error, and the bases left loaded. We're through 1.5 here. The Foresters lead early, 1-0. We'll be right back on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. Michael Tillman, Bart West, and Zach Kamenko. The 3 due up here for the Conejo Oaks in the bottom of the second inning, trailing 1-0. Welcome back, everybody. Michael Tillman, by the way, just committed to Cal State LA. He was undecided where he was going to go from Pierce, but will be a Golden Eagle in the fall. He steps in, and the first pitch to him is a big swing and a miss for strike 1 on the season for the man who led Pierce Junior College in batting average this past season. 226 stint. Leads the team in runs, though, with 7. 3 RBIs, 5 walks. Only 2 strikeouts. Takes that one at the knees for strike 2. 91 miles an hour from Connor Woods. He can throw, and he throws fast. The 0-2 offering from Woods is in. Cracked over the third, but toes the line foul. 0-2 the count once again. Foresters on a 9-game winning streak to start the season. The Oaks on a 1-game winning streak, though. On Saturday, they played a game against the SoCal Catch that got called due to the darkness. 4-4 going to the 10th inning. 0-2 pitch, cracked on and missed. But the Guangarana to Utah Jones putout makes the strikeout official, and the 2-3 putout for out number 1. Bart West now stepping in. As I mentioned on Saturday, that Oaks Catch game will be postponed. The final results won't be played out until July 6th when the Oaks go back to La Mirada. But so far, the rest of the schedule remains the same as Bart West checks in. Second on the team in batting average. The first pitch to him is low and away for ball 1. 345 stints. Leads the team in singles with 7, tied with Sam Shaken. Also leads the team in walks with 6, but ironically leads the team in strikeouts with 13. Takes that pitch inside for ball 2. From USC, if he's not striking out, he's normally getting on base. He has a sweet, sweet swing. The 2-0 offering here from Woods. Cracked on the right field line, but foul. 2-1 the count. I hope everybody's enjoying their Tuesday afternoon, turned early evening soon. You can always contact us in the live chat box on the YouTube stream, questions, comments, concerns, or you just want to Give us a shout out. Give one of your sons a shout out. If you're a coach, give one of your players a shout out. Why not? We always love to hear input from our fans or our observers. The 2-1. Sliced in the right field. Will that drop? No, as Allen makes his way to it for out number 1. Excuse me, actually out number 2. A line out to the right field, puts 2 outs on the board. Now as Zach Kamenko checks in. And his batting average has gotten up. He had a rough start to begin the season, but up at 300 now for the Oaks. 2 RBIs, only 2 strikeouts and 1 walk so far. One UNLV player playing against another here. Connor Woods, the pitcher, and Kamenko, the batter. The 0-0 is at the knees for strike 1. And you better believe that Kamenko knows what Woods can throw because Kamenko was his catcher at times at UNLV.
Yeah, that's such an advantage for Kamenko, but I'm not sure it'll matter. Woods has been so good.
Oh, throws a beautiful curveball in there, as you said, for strike number 2. And Kamenko couldn't even lift the bat off the shoulder. The 0-2. Misses outside. Backhanded by Guangrana as it ricochets off his glove. 1-2 the count. You can also tweet at us at Caneo_Oaks. Our social media guy, Tony Ty, always attentive.
He's tied to his screen.
Which is why he's the man for the job. The 1-2 popped back. 1 ball, 2 strikes once again.
Almost hit the Foresters' personalized bus.
The Forester team bus has the years that the Foresters have won the World Baseball Congress Championship. The most of any team in the country. I believe they've won almost 23 times. Most recently in 2012. 1-2 pitch, hacked at and missed. Strike 3. 2 strikeouts in the inning here.
I believe it was actually fouled off, John.
Oh,
sorry.
Everybody thought that he missed, but guess not. I'm glad that you corrected me on that there, Jordan Brenner.
We've all been there, Jonathan. It did look like a strikeout for a second.
The Foresters started walking off the field.
Really?
So, no matter how I rationalize it, I still know I was wrong. Don't worry. I see you giving me the glance.
I love your self-reflection. I think that's a great quality.
But here's my question. If it was a 1-2 count, he foul tipped it, didn't it go back into the glove of Guangrana?
He dropped it.
Oh, he did. Okay, so that's where it changed. So as I was writing down the K, he dropped it. 1-2 pitch misses outside. 2-2 the count, and Kamenko still standing in there. You know what's funny is the Forester bullpen has their entire pitching staff sitting out in the bullpen. Normally teams will have their entire team in the dugout and send the pitchers out periodically when they warm up, but not the Foresters. 2-2 pitch this time is called strike 3 on the outside corner. Now actually 2 strikeouts in the inning. Just 2 pitches later than when I said it. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. 2 full are gone here at Sparky Anderson Field. The Oaks trail 1-0 here on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. Top of the third inning here at George Sparky Anderson Field. The bulk of the Forester lineup, though, it's not saying much because all these guys can hit. The 3, 4, and 5 batters, and Luke Ritter, Chase Illig, and Utah Jones due up here in the third inning. Brandon Ponticelli back out there for his third inning of work. Deals the first pitch to Luke Ritter, up and inside for ball 1.
Ponticelli gave up the 1 run last inning. It was unearned. He's been very good today. One of his best performances so far this year. Don't let the scoreboard tell you otherwise.
That pitch misses inside as well, 2-0 the count. Yeah, Ponticelli has been very composed on the mound, as most pitchers aren't against the Foresters. It's very easy for this team to shake up the opposing pitchers. That pitch is a strike over the heart of the plate, 2-1 the count. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors for the Foresters. No runs, 2 hits, 2 errors for the Oaks. The bulk of the Forester base runners have come by way of the 2 errors, a fielder's choice, and a walk. That 1 hit was Utah Jones. That pitch misses upstairs, 3-1 the count.
Eddie Cutt up and stretching in the bullpen. Maybe he'll see a few innings.
Eddie Cutt, the new man Jonathan Friedman, Angus Denton, Eric Mall, all potential relievers in today's game. The 3-1 is a strike at the letters, 3-2 the count. Interesting call because the 2-1 pitch, or actually the 2-0 pitch, looked more like a strike than that pitch, but that pitch was called a strike. 3-2 pitch, misses up and in. Ball 4 here, and Luke Ritter walks to kick off the third inning for the Foresters. The second walk given up on the day by Brandon Ponticelli.
That's the second time Ponticelli has missed on 3-2. A lot of these guys on 3-2, they think of it as a pitch where they can strike the other team out, but it's a pitch where you just got to get one over the middle of the strike zone and trust your defense, in my opinion.
Runner on first, nobody away. Chase Illig steps in and takes a first pitch strike at the knees. He's 0 for 1 on the day, struck out looking his first time up. Though leading the CCL in home runs. So batting over 400 on the season. Waits in the left-handed batter's box. Ponticelli ready. Deals the 0-1 outside. 1-1 the count. Luke Ritter on first. Not too much speed, though he can get around when he digs deep into that infield dirt. Takes about a step and a half lead off of first base. Ponticelli texts him. 1-1 offering. Big swing and a miss. 1-2 the count.
Don't be surprised if the Foresters try to run off of Ponticelli. I know Ritter's not the fastest guy in the world, but Ponticelli is doing close to nothing holding Ritter on first base.
Kamiko, though, can throw that ball very well. 1-2 pitch. Ritter goes. Cracked foul, though. We'll have to do it again as Ritter will make the 90-foot walk back to first base. And that was well predicted right there, though. I don't think it was a stolen base attempt. I think it was a hit-and-run attempt to try and avoid that double play.
Either way, they're getting good jumps off of Ponticelli. He's not doing anything to hold him on. You might see him try and throw over here just to keep him close.
One, two. This is upstairs, 2-2 the count. It seems like the top of the strike zone is changing here with each batter. The bottom part of the strike zone has been pretty consistent from our home plate umpire, but the top of the strike zone has changed a little bit. Some have been called balls, some have been called strikes, and both of those calls could be interchanged with some of these pitches. 2-2 pitch, runner goes, popped up towards the Oaks dugout. Lewis making his way to it, but it bounces off of the Oaks top of the dugout for a foul ball. Chase Illig fighting to stay alive here. Pitch number 6 of the at-bat pending. 2-2 the count. Lively day here in Thousand Oaks. Both sides brought a decent amount of fans. Everybody's excited for this bout, as they mostly are. 2-2 pitch, misses outside. Full count once again here for the second straight batter for the Foresters.
I think one pitch that would be so helpful for Ponticelli, especially against left-handed pitching, is a two-seamer that he can run back from the inside part of the plate towards the outside part of the plate. Just another look for these left-handed hitters.
Payoff pitch, popped up towards us, but out of play. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Once again here, third batter of the ball game, facing a 3-2 count for the Foresters.
And also a two-seam fastball is the perfect pitch to get ground ball double plays. You know, the slider and the cutter are good pitches for it, but the two-seamer is known for it.
Right, you get that backdoor movement that forces batters. Payoff pitch, runner goes. It's high, though, ball 4. 3 batters face a 3-2 count for the Foresters. 3 batters walk. The third walk given up on the day for Ponticelli puts runners at first and second. With nobody away and Utah Jones stepping in. He got a bunt single back in the second inning, and head coach Shalise is going to stride out to the mound quickly here for the Oaks. He knows that the last thing that you want to do if you're an Oaks pitcher is let the Foresters gain some momentum and let this game get out of hand early. An uphill battle for this Oaks team would be down 3-0 against the Foresters because not only is the offense explosive, but they have such a good bullpen as well.
And you want to make them earn their runs. A team like the Foresters, you're probably not going to shut them out. But it seems early in this game, the Oaks are not making them earn it. You know, the defensive errors. This is the third walk already for Ponticelli. That's not how you want to face a team that's so polished like the Foresters.
The meeting breaks on the mound. The head coach and the pitching coach for the Oaks, both the same man, Dave Solis, is back in the bullpen, or actually the dugout, I should say, for the Oaks, as Eddie Cutt continues to take warm-ups for the Oaks. And Utah Jones, who had a bunt single back in the second inning for the Foresters' lone hit of the ballgame, steps in. The first pitch is up and away for ball 1. And contrary to popular belief, Utah Jones does not go to Utah.
He should have.
Instead, plays his ball at North Greenville.
The Utes would need him. I'll tell you that much.
The Utes could use you. The 1-0 pitch, a strike on the outside corner.
Pretty much the point is Utah could use anybody because they are abysmal.
It is a tough school for baseball. Though basketball and football are looking up, they just got a couple of new recruits, including one from the area in basketball. Went to Oak Park High School in Riley-Batten. My alma mater. 1-1 pitch. High in the infield grass. Right out of second makes the catch, and that is a good out for the Oaks. Besides a double play ball, that is probably the next best thing that can happen. 1 out, 2 on. Runners on first and second still.
And that's why the cutter is so effective for Ponticelli. When he can run it in on the hands of left-handed hitters, it's really hard to get the barrel around to it. And that's when you see soft contact like that. Great pitch from Ponticelli.
Michael Newstifter checks in. Now he's 0 for 1, but reached first base by way of a 5-4 fielder's choice. Came around to score the lone run of the ball game back in the second inning. Runner goes. The pitch is high. The throw is in plenty of time. And what a throw from Kamenko to Brandon Lewis to nail Luke Ritter at third base for out number 2. And Bill Pintard is going to have a conversation with our second base umpire, though there's no way they overturn this. That throw was there in plenty of time.
The throw was there in plenty of time. Kamenko did his job, but that was quite a nonchalant tag from Brandon Lewis. As we're looking to the
I think
replay.
He got him on the replay.
It was closer than you think, Jonathan. Lewis applied the tag on time, but it was a very lazy, slow tag. If he really slapped it down on there, we wouldn't be seeing this conversation.
Again, Coach Pintard, the most ejected coach in CCL history.
Do you have an official stat for that, Jonathan?
I don't know how many, but he has been ejected twice against the Oaks in the 3 years that I've been here. That tag was 100% in time, looking at the replay for a third time. Brandon Lewis was a little bit nonchalant applying the tag, but I think the second base umpire, got that call right. Pintard will stride back to the Forester dugout, shaking his head, but 2 out, they're still up on the board. A base runner is eliminated. And staying put at first base was Chase Illig, as our own plate umpire has a joke or two with Zach Kamenko, the catcher, and Michael Newstifter, the batter. Newstifter about to step back in with a 1-0 count. What a throw from Kamenko, though. He was all over that one.
I think the Foresters were upset with the delayed call from the umpire, maybe.
1-0 pitch, misses up and in, 2-0 the count. Yeah, but you want to get the call right, and sometimes it takes a second to process. Your initial reaction sometimes takes a second because you have to process what you are seeing. Ponticelli toes the rubber, deals the 2-0 pitch, missing inside, 3-0 the count now to Michael Newstifter. Doing a good job showing the patience. He has walked two times so far this season. Runner on first, 2 outs. 2 walks to lead off the third inning, though. Luke Ritter was out on the stolen base attempt, and Utah Jones popped out to get the 2 outs up on the board. 3-0 pitch, misses low and away, ball 4. And for Ponticelli, who only had 3 walks coming into the ball game, he's given up 4 now through the first 3 innings of the ball game against the Foresters. Not like him, but with that being said, he still is pitching pretty well. Only giving up 1 hit, 1 run that is unearned. Not a strikeout pitcher, does only have 1 strikeout, but normally is a very good pitcher for contact.
5 walks in 2 2/3. You can't do that. It's as simple as that. He's done a good job in jams, but you still can't do that.
Steps off and checks the run. He does have a hit batter. He hit Logan Allen, but he's walked Luke Ritter, Chase Illig, Michael Newstifter, and Cameron Guamgarena.
As well as Logan Allen in the second.
Right, he hit him in the head.
Oh, that was the hit by pitch.
Yes.
So only 4, but 5 free
bases. Base runners.
Still unacceptable.
That pitch, though, was very acceptable if you're an Oaks fan, on the outside corner for strike 1. Andrew Wiss, 0 for 1 on the day, reached on an error back in the second inning. Was stranded on third base, though, thereafter when the Foresters left the bases loaded. Eddie Cutt still taking his stretches, watching the game from the bullpen, waiting for his turn to take the helm for the Oaks. Ponticelli, though, not done. Bunt is shown, popped over to third, but foul for strike number 2. You like the decision here from Wiss to show bunt in an 0-1 situation with 2 away? Especially with forces at third, second, and second base?
Brandon Lewis, we'll put it this way, was not ready for a bunt. If he got that down successfully, he would have been on first base and everybody would have been safe. So I don't hate it, but maybe not the best decision with 2 outs.
Lewis playing closer to the outfield grass than anything, but now taking a couple steps in. The 0-2 popped up, out of play. No balls, 2 strikes. The count remains. Out towards the Los Angeles Rams training camps, or the Los Angeles Rams training facilities, I should say, over the summer. They were pretty active this morning. Some local products from Cal Lutheran getting an opportunity to walk onto the Rams team. It's a pretty cool setting. Oaks and Foresters here and the Rams in left field. The 0-2 pitch, check swing. Did he go around? No, he did not. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Time to dig deep for Ponticelli. 1 more at-bat that he can get through. I would call this a successful outing.
His inning and his outing will likely be done after this inning. Eddie Cutt has finished taking his warm-up pitches from Ohio University. Ponticelli deals the 1-2, popped up, though, and out of play. 2 consecutive off-speeders, both times forcing Wiss to pop back out of play. And that's not bad, because you go off-speed, and now you have an opportunity to either whip in a fastball or go off-speed again, and you keep the batter guessing. That's what Ponticelli wants to do.
Yeah, elevated fastball here, or bouncing an off-speeder in the dirt, I think you get the strikeout.
Wiss might be taking here as he's seen a couple of strikes. The 1-2. Swung and missed. A pitch in the dirt. Gets out number 3, the second strikeout of the ball game here from Ponticelli. And that stifles the Foresters' opportunity to tack on any more runs. No runs, no hits, no errors. And 2 left on base. 3 walks in the inning, though no damage done. We're through 2.5 here from Sparky Anderson Field. The Oaks trail 1-0. 9-1 and 2 hitters due up after this. The speedy Cal Lutheran baseball product, Tanner Wright, leads things off here. Welcome back, everybody. The Oaks trailing 1-0 to the Santa Barbara Foresters on a beautiful day from Thousand Oaks, California. The first of a 2-game homestand. The Oaks host the Arroyo Seco Saints tomorrow before hitting the road up north to Healdsburg to play the Prune Packers. But first, some business here as Tanner Wright takes a strike at the knees. From Connor Woods, 0-1 the count to the speedster on the season, batting .333, 2 runs, 5 RBIs, 3 walks, only 1 strikeout. Takes that pitch low for ball 1. Very patient batter, knows how to make contact even if he doesn't necessarily get on base, so only strike out 1 time in 29 plate appearances. It's pretty incredible, especially with the way that most of this offense is playing as he lines one right into the diving glove of Zarazoga for out number 1.
And Coach Solis puts Tanner Wright in this spot just for this reason. He has him hit 9 because of the situation exactly like this. He wants him to be able to lead off for Shaken, set the table for Lewis as well at the top of the order. A very flexible lineup that can go 1 through 9.
Though so far have only gotten 2 hits, both in the first inning. Sam Shaken steps in and lines that one into left field. Will it be enough for extra bases? Ritter gets over to it quickly. No, it won't, but nonetheless, on the first pitch that he sees, Sam Shaken rips it over to left field for a single. He's now 1 for 2 on the ball game. He did pop out to short his first time up. And now Brandon Lewis stepping in here with an opportunity to at least make some noise here for the Oaks in the 3rd inning, trailing 1-0. Though they are out hitting the Foresters 3-1, though the 4 walks that the Foresters have drawn has made up the difference so far.
And the 2 errors.
Of course, the 2 errors. Lewis responsible for 1 of them. Woods toes the rubber. 0-0 pitch is a big swing and a miss for strike 1. Consistently throwing between 89 and 91 miles an hour on the gun, Connor Woods has been placing these pitches. He's striking out 3 batters so far today. Brandon Lewis, though, was not one of those batters. He flew out to center his first time up. The 0-1. This is up and away. 1-1 the count.
And if you look at the Foresters' defensive positioning now, they're shaded pretty heavily towards right field. The gap in left center field is pretty endless. If Lewis can get a ball in there, no doubt on my mind, Shaken scores.
1-1 pitch is in the dirt. Good block, though, by Guangarena. 2-1 the count now to the UC Irvine Anteater. We had some fun with the Anteater mascot on Sunday. Sean and I did when you were gone here, Jordan. Do you know what sound the Anteater makes?
I do not.
You do not know, because as a pickoff attempt, nothing doing, because it's quite funny, and I think that we have figured out, Sean and I, at least the most fun cheer for any mascot in the country. I'll give you my version of it here in just a moment as Woods deals the 2-1. Up and away, 3-1 the count to Lewis. The Anteater at UC Irvine goes zot, zot, zot. And whenever they have a celebration, they always put up their Anteaters and go zot, zot, zot. Brandon Lewis will be leading those cheers in the fall. We always have a little fun with Mascot Mania here on the broadcast. The 3-1. Skied high to right center field. Allen back towards the track. Makes the catch for out number 2. Shaken retreats to first base. So we've been constantly bickering here on the Oaks Broadcasting Network about the best college mascot in the country. We're going to open it up to you, to our viewers. Feel free to give us your take in the YouTube chat or on Twitter at Caneo_Oaks. And if you do, you will be entered a chance to win some VIP tickets for the Oaks. Free admission to the game. Signed ball picture with the team.
And I'll throw in a signed picture of myself as well.
I think that'll deter people. Elijah Alexander takes the first pitch in the dirt for ball 1. Guangarena getting his knees dirty here, doing a very good job. Blocking a lot of these wild pitches, or what could be wild pitches. Sam Shaken still on first, 2 outs. 1 run, 1 hit for the Foresters. No run, 3 hits, 2 errors for the Oaks. The 1-0 offering. Misses low and away. 1-1 the count to Alexander. He's 1 for 1 on the day with a double. The first hit of the ball game for Conejo. As Head coach Bill Pintard will stride out to the mound and have a conversation with Woods. There are a couple of pitchers warming up in the Forester bullpen, though I don't think Woods will be pulled just yet with 2 outs. Bill Pintard, a tenured head coach here and Yankees scout. Was also a scout for the Angels for a while. Started off his career with the Yankees, went back to the Angels, and then back to the Yankees. Has been responsible for many of the draft picks for the Yankees that have panned out, Greg Bird being one that comes to mind. The young slugger who's been absolutely tearing it up for New York. Really putting a stain on my Boston Red Sox. Meeting breaks on the mound. Runner on first, 2 away, 2-0 count. And we're back to baseball here as Elijah Alexander finishes up his practice swings. Connor Woods so far, 3 hits given up, no runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. And Elijah Alexander looking to keep this inning alive. Ahead in the count, 2 balls, no strikes. Woods deals. High and deep to center field. Wiss, though, has enough room to make the catch for out number 3. Allowed out ends the 3rd inning. No runs, no hits. Actually, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. We're through 3 full here from Sparky Anderson Field. The Oaks trail 1-0. We'll be right back. Back here in the top of the 4th inning with the Oaks trailing 1-0. New pitcher on the mound is Eddie Cutt. And for everything on him, on Brandon Ponticelli's day, and the play-by-play for the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings, my broadcasting partner, Jordan Brenner.
Thank you, Jonathan. Cameron Gongarena, the first to step in for the Foresters here in the top of the 4th. Eddie Cutt, the new pitcher from Ohio University. Number 9 for the Oaks, his first offering. He kicks and fires. Fastball a little bit low, 1-0. Brandon Ponticelli had a reasonably successful afternoon. 3 innings pitched to hit a run that was unearned. 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. The 1-0 pitch. Lifted. Left side, it looks to be out of play towards the net. And Kamikawa cannot get there. 1-1. Eddie Cutt, fastball, cutter, curveball, and changeup. It's been pretty good this year so far. A 2.89 ERA in 9 1/3 innings pitched for the Oaks. 3 earned runs.
He had 1 bad outing, his first outing with the Oaks, but other than that was against San Luis Obispo, by the way, on the 2nd game of the season. Other than that, he's been stellar and a guy you want out here to try to stifle the offense.
1-1. Runs one back over the middle. The changeup of beauty. 1-2. And also for Cutt, 9 strikeouts in 9 1/3 innings pitched. He's been able to get the swing and miss stuff, which is so impressive. The 1-2 pitch to Gongarena. The changeup again, called strike 3 on the edge. Nasty pitch from Cutt for the first strikeout of his day and for the first out recorded by Cut today.
And Gongarena knew it, too. He immediately turned and started walking back to the dugout even before the umpire called it because there was nothing you can do to touch that pitch. Well done by Eddie Cut.
Yeah, what a sequence. That's the best changeup I think I've seen all year for the Oaks. Obviously, you think about the Eric Ma's split finger, a little bit of a changeup action on that pitch, but Cut definitely one of the stronger changeups as he faces Brandon Zaragoza. He grounded into a 6-3 fielder's choice in the first, and he takes a pitch on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Zaragoza from the University of Oklahoma. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball a little bit low from Cut, 88 miles an hour. Sinks below the knees, 1-1. No runs, 3 hits, 2 errors for the Oaks. A run on a hit, no errors for the Foresters. The difference has been the walks and the errors as Zaragoza lines one up the middle into center field. Alexander picks it up, tosses it back in the infield, but a base hit for Zaragoza, his first hit of the day, and the second hit for the Foresters today. Next hitter, Logan Allen.
Number 17, Logan Allen.
Allen is 0 for 1 on the day, a fly out to right field, as well as the scary hit by pitch up near the neck and head area. It might have hit him on the back shoulder, not quite sure, but glad he's okay. As Zaragoza takes a reasonably sized lead at first base, Cut gets his sign. Kamiko sets outside, the runner goes, ground ball through the right side, a base hit. Allen on first base with a base hit. Zaragoza advances to third base, and that's how you execute a hit and run, Jonathan. Wow.
Yeah, that was pretty incredible. To be able to hit the ball where the fielder was supposed to be but wasn't takes a lot of resilience, and right there, Logan Allen did that. On the run, as soon as Zaragoza took off, Tanner Wright started to move over to second base to cover, and he moved out of position where he was originally standing is where Logan Allen hit that ball, and that was so strategically done. I can't admire enough how well he executed that play was, and that's just the coaching right there of Bill Pintard.
Yeah, you think of hitters in Major League Baseball who can kind of locate where the ball's going when they hit it. Miguel Cabrera, Tony Gwynn is the throw over to first, it's not in time. Players like that.
Ryan Zimmerman, Paul Goldschmidt.
Oh, the list goes on and on. But to be able to do that when you're in college, it's so impressive. Runners down the corners and out. Cut throws back to first again for the second straight play. And Allen dives back in safely. Thinking of Logan Paul, I don't know why.
I'm glad he's not on the baseball field.
Aren't we all? Oh, first pitch taken inside to Ryan Cash. Cash, a couple of ground outs today, 0 for 2. Two-hole hitter from Oklahoma State. Cash is hitting .500, or at least he entered the day doing so. No home runs. And 6 RBIs on the season. The 1-0 pitch from Cut. Fastball swung on and tipped back. 1-1. 87 on the fastball from Cut. He has to put himself in a position to throw that changeup. Early in the count, I don't know if he feels quite comfortable. You could hang it, and they could crush it, but with 2 strikes, it is very effective. 1-1, 1 out. Runners at the corners. Cut checks first base to see if Allen is going anywhere. Now he throws back to first base. Good stop by Bart West at first base as Cut bounced one over to him. That could have been very dangerous. A costly third error and another run for the Foresters. As we have talked about, the Foresters have been dominant as expected early in the season. 6-0 in CCL play, 8-0 overall. 9-0, excuse me.
I guess it doesn't really matter because they just don't have a loss. You could just say something and all that matters is that they don't have a loss yet.
The 1-1 pitch, runner goes, swung on and missed. The throw from Kamiko to second on a bounce. Stopped by Shaken, but a stolen base for Allen. He got a great jump, and it was an off-speed pitch, and Kamiko really had no chance to throw him out.
It's a play right there from the Foresters, even though Cash swung at it. They now avoid the double play situation, though. So far, Eddie Cut is ahead of Ryan Cash, though you can never count Cash out because he is just such a resilient hitter.
1-2 to Cash. The lefty with a big open stance. Awaits the pitch. Check swing. The ball gets past Kamenko. And from third, Zaragoza scores for the second run of the day. Advancing over to third base, is Allen. And now quickly 2-0 in favor of the Foresters. It looks like Cash did go, says the umpire, so he strikes out on that play, on the drop third strike. But he sacrifices himself for the good of the team. A run scores. The second strikeout of the day for Eddie Cutt, as Luke Ritter steps in, 0 for 1. As he takes the first pitch off the plate, 1-0. He reached both times he came to bat. An error by Brandon Lewis in the first inning, and he walked in the third inning. The 1-0 pitch from Cutt. Fastball elevated just a bit upstairs, 2-0. Logan Allen leading off of third base, and it has been the defensive mishaps for the Oaks. Again, that lead to runs for the Foresters. 2-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. The changeup again. Down low. Started right down the middle. Cut back to the front leg of Ritter.
And it's funny because you look at the other games that the Oaks have lost, and a lot of the runs that scored have been on miscues by the offense, or by the defense,
Lifted out of play on the 2-1 pitch, 2-2.
And the reason that's big is because it's not like these Oaks pitchers are necessarily pitching poorly. They're actually pitching pretty well, but it's some of the miscues, as we mentioned. There's 2 errors in the field for the Oaks that have let a run come around and score, and that shakes up the defensive chemistry. And then you have a wild pitch, which not necessarily is the defense's fault, but it could have been avoided.
2-2 pitch to Ritter, up and in, almost hit him, 3-2. Little extra mustard over there for Cutt, 89 miles an hour. And now he'll face a full count with 2 outs. Cutt gets his sign, kicks and fires. Up the middle for a base hit for Ritter. The Foresters tack on another, and they do not leave runners on base very often. The 6 that they had stranded in the first 3 innings certainly did not stick with them in the back of their minds. They were able to get everybody home right there.
Bill Pintard is very much like the saying at the dinner table. You always lick your plate clean. Well, the Foresters don't like any of those breadcrumbs left on base. They want to lick that plate clean, and they try to clear the base paths whenever they can.
Throw over to first, almost get Ritter, but he slides back in safely. A reiteration of the infield. Bart West, Tanner Wright, the right side of the infield. Shaken Lewis, left side. Cockerell, Alexander, Spears, your outfield. First pitch into Illig. Swung on and missed on the fastball away, 0-1. So before this inning, the Oaks were leading in the hit category. Put that to bed. 4 hits already in the game for the Foresters now. Cutt gets a sign, the 0-1 pitch. There's a changeup, drops down low and inside, 1-1. Nobody throwing in the Oaks bullpen. This looks to be Cutt's inning. He might go again next inning. To be seen. Ritter gets his lead off of first base. He just scorched a base hit to center field. The 1-1 pitch, inside and low again, 2-1.
Well, David Appleby was walking out there last week. His finger, what he said, exploded. It was just a blister that formed and then popped, so his finger was hurting, but I'm not exactly sure whether or not he's active for today's ball game, though he was stretching out there for the Oaks.
2-1 pitch on the ground towards the Foresters dugout. Hits off one of the poles to protect Illig's teammates.
You know what's funny is that the poles out there are padded, but there's no other protection in the dugout, so it's not like that padded pole really means anything for those players.
Maybe it's to protect the catchers from running into them.
I've never seen a catcher run into the dugout to make a catch here before, but that would make sense. That's the only other reason I could see them padding up those poles.
Ritter gets his lead off first. Swung on and missed. A drop third strike. Kamenko applies the tag. Illig goes down on strikes for the 3rd strikeout of the inning. So Cutt strikes out the side, but not before 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We're through 3.5 from Cal Lutheran's George Sparky Anderson Field 3-0 Foresters here in the Oaks Broadcasting Network. New pitcher in for the Foresters, James Notary, the TCU Horned Frog, to face Chase Cockrell, his second at-bat for the Oaks. And he made his presence immediately felt in his first at-bat of the season for the Oaks, a base hit to shortstop. It was on the infield, but it was hit pretty hard, and definitely showcasing what he can do for this team. Notary has pitched to a 3.38 ERA and 5 1/3 on this early season. First pitch, Cockrell is up swinging, lifts one foul, and it bounces in the bullpen for the Foresters for the first strike. As we have talked about extensively, Cockrell is a finalist for the Collegiate Player of the Year, a very prestigious list that has featured the likes of players who I'll name in a second. Drops a curveball at the knees, 0-2. We're talking about, in recent years, guys like Brandon McKay, Andrew Benintendi, Chris Bryant, Mike Zunino, Anthony Rendon, and Steven Strasburg, Buster Posey. 0-2 pitch is upstairs and in. And anyway, you get the point. Those are some legit guys.
And
right
even
there.
though Brady Singer from Florida is the likely winner, the fact that he was even in the conversation, in his second ever season at Ole Miss, you know that Chase Cockrell was something special.
Impressive. 1-2 pitch scorched up the middle for a base hit. Must have been 100 miles an hour plus off the bat. He'll stand on first base starting this Oaks rally with their third base hit of the day. Fourth base hit, excuse me.
And how about that, Chase Cockrell immediately making an impact for the Conejo Oaks. In his second season with the team, again, 293 batting average last year. All of a sudden goes to Ole Miss for a second season after only playing 24 games, plays over 50, and absolutely explodes onto the SEC scene. Leads Ole Miss to Super Regional, but they couldn't get past that.
2 for 2 on the day for Cockrell. Showing Bunny Spears, he gets it down. It is a fair ball. He'll stand on first base. Gargarena behind the plate. He didn't even pick up the ball. He thought it was going to go foul. Talk about a perfect bunt.
That was the definition of a dead fish bunt. It rolls and it toes the line and then just stops. And everybody says, well, isn't going to go foul? No. When finally Gargarena picked it up, the umpire said, that's fair. And Michael Spears was already at first base with a smile from ear to ear.
The Oaks in business here in the bottom of the fourth, 2 on, nobody out. Notary steps off to gain his composure after that event. I mean, that's a free out. That was supposed to be a sacrifice. The catcher, Gargarena, chose to let it go foul. Was disappointed when it did not. First pitch, first he's going to check Cockrell over at second base. Take a short stroll behind the mound, and we'll do it again.
And there has to be some sense of contentment between Cockrell and Spears batting back-to-back because they're both teammates. Spears played in 24 games this past year for Ole Miss, and he advanced his teammate.
Tillman shows bunt. Oh, Cockrell gets caught in a rundown between second and third. They're going to continue to throw it. Cockrell's going to try and get Spears over to second base. Cockrell is out at third base. Spears advanced to second base. Simply unacceptable base running. It's been the mental errors today that have kept the Oaks from contending in this baseball game.
A 1-4-6. Check that, a 1-4-5-6-5-4. Pickle gets Chase Cockrell out, though. A good heads-up play by Michael Tillman, advanced to second base. That does eliminate the double play threat because Tillman was going for the sacrifice, but now there's no more tying run potential here for Michael Tillman.
Coach Sillies has got to be furious on the bench, but he can't be too mad. I mean, Cockrell is 2 for 2. 0-1 and out to Tillman at the plate. He's 0 for 1 with a swinging strikeout, and he goes on that pitch. That was a slider away, 0-2.
And he committed way too early, and he knew it. He immediately tried pulling that bat back. It was too late, and at that point, he decided that it was too late to stop himself from going around, and eventually committed.
0-2 now. Tillman waves his bat, awaits. Here's the pitch. Slider again down on the way. Tillman started to go. This time he held up. 1-2. So the inning started off with a Cockrell ringing base hit to center field. Michael Spears got to first base on a base hit bunt. Then Cockrell was thrown out at third base trying to advance. And Spears advanced to second. Now we see Tillman in a 1-2 count. Notary checks the runner and delivers a slider in the dirt. Swung on and missed. Tillman's going to try and advance to first base. He will. And over to third base in time is Spears. So a productive strikeout, you could say, for Michael Tillman. The Oaks will take it. Finally a break that goes their way. And Bart West takes the bat and is ready for a big moment here.
Yeah, this is a big spot. And the guy you want up in Bart West, that was a big break for the Oaks. Tillman swung at a bad pitch, but Gargarena, who's been very good behind the dish, just couldn't wrap that into his glove. It went away from him. And with enough space, there's such a wide amount of real estate behind the backstop here. That allowed Tillman to reach first base on the steal.
Runners on the corners. 1 out. First pitch into Bart West, touches the corner. 0-1. Bart West, 0 for 1, a fly out to right field back in the second inning. He hit that one very hard, actually. Was robbed of a base hit. Maybe you can check in right here. As Notary gets the sign, checks the runner, and kicks and offers a slider down and away, 1-1. That is a nasty slider. Every time that Notary throws it, he doesn't necessarily get swings and misses, but the Oaks always think about swinging. That'll tell you that it's a really good pitch. Tillman over at first base. Spears over at third base. Bart West digs in at the plate with a 1-1 count. Pitch comes. Fastball off the plate away. 2-1. Bart West entered the day hitting .345. Scorched into center field, going back as Wiss in center. He makes the play, but tagging from third and scoring is Michael Spears. The Oaks get on the board with a loud out from Bart West and cut the lead to 3-1.
Mustering runs any way possible is how you at least contend with the Foresters. You may not beat them, but you have to contend with them. Right there, the Oaks were able to do that. Yes, they got a rough pickle out with Chase Cockrell, who led off the inning with a single. Well, Michael Spears singled, was it advanced to second on that pickle on a heads-up base running play, advanced to third on Tillman's single, and a great at-bat by Bart West to at least push the issue here for the Oaks. And once you get one run around, it's a lot easier to get a couple more.
First pitch to Kamenko, a frisbee curveball in there for strike one.
What about these placements by Gongarena? Some of these pitches are high, and he's placing them lower as soon as the ball comes around, and I think it's helping his pitcher's case with some of these strikes.
0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed on the curveball, 0-2. And that's one of the most underrated, things or qualities of catchers that is often overlooked. But some of the most valuable catchers in baseball, you think of Yadier Molina, they're so good at framing pitches and helping their pitchers out. Swing and a miss from Kamenko on an ugly slider away. Throw over to first just to make sure Jones makes the play to end the inning. But the Oaks get one run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. They cut the lead to 3-1. We're through 4 full here at Sparky Anderson Field. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Oaks Baseball on the Oaks Baseball Network. Top of the 5th inning. Utah Jones, the first hitter for the Foresters. A base hit, a flyout, and 2 appearances. Eddie Cutt gets a nod for his 2nd inning of work. His first pitch, a changeup just outside, 1-0. Next pitch lined through the right side on the ground. A base hit for Utah. He checks in for his 2nd hit of the day. The first one came on a bunt.
Third baseman number 20.
Next hitter is
Newstifter.
Michael Newstifter. A 5-3 ground out and a walk from Oklahoma State. Eddie Cutt struck out the side in the last inning. But also gave up 3 hits and 2 runs. Peers in for a sign, offers a little bit low, 1-0.
This is a big spot here for Eddie Cutt. If he can force a double play and try to make this a quick inning, the Oaks can try to capitalize on their big bottom of the 4th.
Newstifter fouls one back and out of play.
And momentum is everything in this rivalry. Last year, these two teams split the season series 3 games apiece, and momentum seemed to be the biggest reason why. It wasn't the players, it wasn't, the activity. It was just the momentum. When whoever was in the driver's seat, no matter who was playing, that team won.
The 1-1 pitch, down and away, 2-1. And Newstifter, no home runs on the year, but has 2 RBIs, and he's hitting .333. But he's only played in 3 games and appeared at the plate 12 times.
By the way, it looks like Joe Torres from UC Davis is warming up for the Oaks in their bullpen, looking for his second outing of the season.
And his first one was exciting. It was an adventure. Throw over to first, gets past West, and going to second is Utah Jones. He's going to round and go to third base. He'll stay there. And more mental errors compiling for this Oaks team. Eddie Cutt let that throw over to first base get away from him. Bart West did what he could, but that ball rolls all the way to the wall. Out in foul territory in right field, and with all that space, Utah Jones had no problem getting all the way to third base.
And Jones has the wheels. He showed you right there. He had a bunt single back in the second, and that play was indicative of how quickly he can move around the bases.
2-1. Cut to Newstifter. Kicks and fires. Fastball looked to be on the corner, doesn't get the call. It'll be 3-1. Outfield is pretty deep. They'll have a tough time throwing out Utah at the plate on a fly ball. Especially Spears in right field. Only steps from the track. That pitch is off the plate. A walk from Cutt. And now 2 on with nobody out. Runners at the corners for Andrew Wiss.
5 walks through the first 5 innings, also a hit batter. The Oaks aren't losing because of the hits they're giving up, but the 3 errors and the 5 walks. For all intents and purposes, this team is actually not playing poorly, but again, it's just the mental mistakes, pitching around batters, the pickle that got Chase Cockrell out back in the 4th inning for this team on the offensive side. All of these add up, and right now the Foresters are capitalizing.
First pitch from Cutt to Wiss, down and in, 1-0. This is a defining moment in this game. The Oaks fought back for 1 in the bottom half of the inning. You don't want to let the Foresters come right back and extend their lead. 1-0 pitch, line to left center field, down for a hit for sure. Scoring is Jones from third base. Newstifter will go to third base on the double from Andrew Wiss, and this is the Foresters' potent offense that we have been talking about all day long.
Eddie Cutt has not been pitching for contact a lot this season. He had 9 strikeouts going through 9 innings coming into today, so it's something that we were accustomed to seeing was him just setting down batters left and right, but today the Foresters have his number. The strikes that he's throwing have been hit, and so far the Foresters are still threatening with 2 on in scoring position and nobody out. They are really in the driver's seat right now.
Eddie Cutt's next challenge is Cameron Gongarena. Fastball low, 1-0. You just cannot keep getting behind these Foresters hitters. 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Foresters. A run on 5 hits, 3 errors for the Oaks. Inside, gets away from Kamenko. Looks like Newstifter will score. He will, and over to third base goes Andrew Wiss. Another multi-run inning for the Foresters. They extend their lead to 5-1.
And Solis was looking down at the Oaks bullpen, though he's not going to come out. He believes in these players. He even told me, look, this is a development league. Yes, we want to win, but at the end of the day, we're developing players, and that's what matters more.
Gongarena swings and misses at the 2-1 pitch. At the 2-0 pitch, turns it into a 2-1 pitch.
And that speaks to the mentality. You know, a lot of the coaches in the CCL are on a win-first mentality. Head coach Solis obviously wants to win. These fans want this team to win. The players want to win. But at the end of the day, it's about learning from your mistakes.
2-1 turns to 3-1. Three and 1 from Cutt. Fastball up and off the plate. Puts another one on. Gongarena walks. The second on the game for Cutt and the 6th on the game for the Oaks. And here comes Coach Solis. This could be the end of Eddie Cutt today.
Yeah, and Joe Torres is going to be put in a tough spot here. He's waiting in the bullpen. The bullpen catcher went back to the Oaks dugout. So I do believe that Eddie Cut's day will be over. And he started off pretty well for all intents and purposes. Got 3 strikeouts through the first inning that he pitched, but that'll be the only inning that he gets to his credit because you cannot get an out here. And indeed, Joe Torres will stride into the bullpen.
Yep, 1 inning, 5 hits, and 4 runs given up for Eddie Cut. We'll head to break. On the other side, Joe Torres in the bottom of the 5th, the top of the 5th inning, 5-1 in favor of the Foresters. New pitcher Joe Torres on the mound trying to clean up the mess that Eddie Cut created. His final line, I'll reiterate it to you. 1 inning, 5 hits, 4 runs, only 3 earned, and 2 strikeouts. Torres has 1 appearance with the Oaks. That happened in the game that has not been completed yet. 2 runs, 3 hits, no runs, no walks, and a strikeout. Runners at the corners with no outs. The runner goes. The throw over to second is not in time. The throw from right back to the plate. Kamenko applies the tag. And out at home plate is Andrew Wiss. What a beautiful throw and heads-up play by Tanner Wright, making sure to get the out at home plate to prevent the run from scoring.
A 2-4-2 put out puts Andrew Wiss back to the bench, and that was a really heads-up play. He didn't even go for the tag. He said, you know what, I'd rather save the run and at least try to get my team another opportunity without a runner on third base, and that's exactly what it did, because a runner on second base with that 1 out is more manageable, and I don't think that throw would have been there in time anyways. So again, a great heads-up play there by Tanner Wright.
So now Gargarena on second. The 0-1 pitch into right field for a base hit. Spears fields it. The throw to the plate will be cut off. Gargarena scores. The throw to second base gets Zaragoza in time for the second out of the inning.
A 9-3-4 put out after that RBI single. These are some weird outs these Oaks are making, finding unconventional ways. And it looks like Michael Spears on right didn't really try to run down that ball. He just let it drop and reach his glove. I think he could have made a play at the plate had he charged that ball and got on the hop. But nonetheless, an RBI single turned to an out by Zaragoza.
So 3 runs on the inning on 3 hits so far. Torres will not be charged that run. Fastball lifted out of play right side, 0-1. That run should go to Eddie Cut. So 5 runs given up by Cut, 4 earned. And the new hitter, Logan Allen. 0-1 pitch. Curveball, the sidearm delivery, a beautiful one. 0-2. So now nobody on with 2 outs. The 0-2 count. It's been a busy inning. Torres takes a deep breath and offers. Slider, high fly ball to center field. Should be no problem for Alexander. Takes a few steps back, makes the play to end the half inning. 3 runs, 3 hits, an error, and nobody left on base. You're watching Oaks baseball in a 6-1 game on the Oaks Baseball Network. Tanner Wright in for his second at-bat against James Notary, who gave up 2 hits and a run in his first inning of work. Tanner Wright, the Cal Lutheran player, made a great play in the top half of the inning, throwing out Andrew Wiss at home plate. First pitch to Wright, a grounder over to third base. Newstifer over to first in time to get Wright. He's 0 for 2.
And how about that play from Newstifter? He was playing close on the line, expecting a bunt. Didn't get a bunt, but got a one-hopper right into his glove. He didn't have to move for that one. Well played in the field by Newstifter.
Sam Shaken, his third at-bat, lined a base hit down the left field line his last time up. And he flied out back in the first inning. First pitch on the inside corner, 0-1, 89 from Notary, and arguably his best pitch of the day. Brandon Lewis looms on deck, and Elijah Alexander after him if the inning goes that long. The 0-1 pitch in the dirt, 1-1.
If the Oaks want to win, this is the part of the order that has to get going. Shaken, Lewis, and Alexander, because Cockrell has been playing well and Spears has been playing well, and if they continue their day, it won't mean anything if nobody can get on base in front of them.
1-1 offering, a curveball. Did he go? No, he did not, says the first base umpire. 2-1 to Shaken, who has been heating up recently. Started the year really struggling at the plate. He has emerged a little bit recently.
I don't think that we've seen an appeal get called for a strike yet this season.
2-1 on the ground down the left field line. Hit hard, but foul.
And the Oaks have Nick Ringcover, that is, and the new guy, Jonathan Friedman, both out there in the bullpen, a lefty and a righty. Friedman, of course, the new transfer. We'll see here who head coach Solis decides to throw in when he decides that Joe Torres' day is done.
2-2. Swung on and missed. A beautiful play by Gargarena behind the plate to hold on to it. Shaken down on strikes for the second out of the inning.
3 strikeouts now for Notary. He has been stellar in his relief appearance so far. That's 6 strikeouts now for the Foresters. The Oaks have 5, but again, the difference in the ballgame, 5 walks that have been drawn by the Foresters, and the 3 errors in the field by the Conejo Oaks.
Brandon Lewis, 2 flyouts. That is the way he usually gets out, as we've talked about in previous broadcasts. Rarely does he hit it on the ground, and when he does, it gets through a hole. First pitch inside, 1-0. Lewis has not had his best start to the year. Entered the day hitting .275 with only 1 home run. Also 5 RBIs. Next pitch in there for a strike. 1-1. Outfield, as they do against Lewis, is shaded heavily toward right field. 1-1. Off speed, called a strike. And this Foresters team, they know Brandon Lewis pretty well. They know that he has power the opposite way, and they don't want to let him beat him to right field at Cal Lutheran where the wind blows there. As he lifts one off of the Foresters bus, maybe just over it in the parking lot, 1-2.
But what's funny about that game plan, and again, Pintard being the virtuoso scout that he is, Brandon Lewis doesn't really hit to right field that deep. He does have the power, but he normally pulls it.
1-2 curveball. Lined it to left field. It drops for a base hit. Lewis checks in with his first hit of the day with 2 outs in the 5th inning.
And that proves my point right there. He pulled that one. His 1 home run is out to left field. So, yes, it does make a little bit of sense to shade him a little bit to the right, but if you miss that call, you could hurt yourself. And right there, Brandon Lewis did make them play it for being shaded a little bit to the right, though. That hit would have been down no matter what. Luke Ritter had no play on that.
And Elijah Alexander and Brandon Lewis actually share a bat. So when Lewis is finished getting his hit, Alexander just walks up and grabs it from him. I find that very interesting. Notary peers in for a sign, kicks and offers. A fastball lifted high, not deep to center field. Wiss circles the ball, makes the play to end the inning. No runs, a hit. No errors and 1 man left on base, 6-1 in favor of the Foresters. You're watching Oaks Baseball on the Oaks Baseball Network. Top of the 6th inning, here it goes. Joe Torres back on the mound for the Oaks. And leading off for the Foresters, the second baseman, Ryan Cash. Cash was not Cash in his last at-bat, struck out swinging.
Which is funny because he's been Cash coming into today with a .500 average, but the one Forester the Oaks have been able to stifle is the best hitter on this team.
Yeah, wasn't money in his first 2 plate appearances either. A ground out to shortstop, a ground out to the pitcher. First pitch shows bunt. Yes, he did go, says the home plate umpire, 0-1.
And he is the only Forester from top to bottom of the order that hasn't found a way to reach base yet, whether it be a hit by a pitch, a walk, an error, drop third strike, or a hit.
Crazy. Torres gets a sign. He works quickly. Sidearm delivery, produces a strike on the foul ball back to the screen. 0-2.
That sidearm delivery is so hard to pick up.
One of 2 sidearmers on the Oaks.
Yeah, and he wants a new baseball, too. Joe Torres is very picky. One of the funnier guys. It's funny, if you actually look at the back of his hat, Sean, I don't know if we can get it zoomed in on that. Next time he turns around, don't worry about it now, but the next time he turns around, the Oaks actually ran out of hat sizes for his head, so he has to tuck out the back of his hat to make it fit. It's really, really funny, and he likes to joke around with it a little bit. We'll see if we can get a picture for it here in the inning.
0-2 to Cash. Change up away, 1-2. Torres was very impressive in his first appearance down in, what's that city called?
La Mirada.
La Mirada. Can't remember that. Beautiful little town.
From Biola University.
Yeah, I liked it over there. Good stadium.
You gonna
1-2
transfer?
pitch. Absolutely not. 1-2 is fouled back to the screen. Still 1-2. Not for me. It's a good Christian school. You know, beautiful campus. I love their baseball field. You like to call it the what do you call it?
The aviary.
The aviary, because it's all netted around.
And they're the Eagles. It works. It's a bird aviary.
It works a little.
It works
but
a lot, actually.
They have palm trees out in center field, a lot of plants. Good vibe on campus, too. The baseball field really seems like the center of that school. This Cash sets in. 1-2. Swung on a miss on the Frisbee slider for the first out of the inning.
And that's what Torres can do. A lot of movement on that one. Moves around to that outside corner. Cash not even out ahead of it. I think he just swung outside or inside of it, I should say, the lefty. And well played there from Joe Torres on the mound.
Luke Ritter, the next hitter. He's had a busy day. On base 3 times, but he's only 1 for 2. I'll explain on the next pitch. First pitch behind him. Wow, on the slider. Must have slipped out of Torres' hand. He reached on an error in the first inning, a walk in the third, and a base hit to center field his last time up in the 4th. Slider away 2-0, and no wonder Torres is picky. With his baseball, he can't seem to get a feel for this particular one. Chase Illig, the CCL leader in bombs, on deck. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Two-seamer tried to run it back, couldn't succeed. 3-0. A rowdy crowd today.
As it always is between the Oaks and the Stirs.
That's Thousand Oaks for you. The 3-0 pitch on the inside corner, 3-1.
Well, at the end of the workday, you know, it's a really nice little town, but there's not a lot to do, so why not come out and watch some rivalry baseball?
3-1 from Torres. Fastball threw it by him, 3-2 to Ritter.
And that was a good pitch. Bouncing back from 3-0. Torres is good at that. He's very good at staying out of his own head. He'll get behind in counts. He may hit a batter or two, may give up a hit, but he forgets about it and goes right at the next guy like nothing happened.
Full count pitch. Ritter kicks and offers. Slider swung on a miss. 2 straight strikeouts for Torres. The first 2 he's had today. And his 3rd total on the season. 2 outs in the inning as Chase Illig steps in.
Jordan, I can tell you like Joe Torres.
I like him a lot. I love the sidearmers. You know why? They throw strikes. Angus Stenson, Joe Torres, they get on the mound, they do their business, they pound the zone, and you got to be on your toes if you're playing behind them. But they also have good strikeout stuff as well.
He went down from 3-0 and came back on 3 straight strikes to strike out one of the best hitters on this team.
Illig takes a strike on the outside corner. No balls, 1 strike.
And on the last, great camera work, Sean, on the last in-between batters, you zoomed in on Joe Torres, and you could see actually the back of that hat being tucked out. Really funny stuff.
0-1 swinging for New Jersey over there, 0-2.
New Jersey's still waiting for that baseball because he missed all of it.
Yeah, they're going to be waiting a while. They don't see a lot of baseballs leave yards out of New Jersey when they're watching their Mets. Most people from New Jersey actually like the Mets. New York,
They have the Princeton Tigers.
great. 0-2. Up the middle, a base hit. Illig on first base for the 2nd time today. He improves to 1 for 3.
Are you telling me you're not a fan of Princeton baseball, Jordan Brenner?
Princeton is good at a lot of things, Jonathan. They produce some of the greatest minds in the world. But in terms of baseball, I'm very sorry.
You have to be sorry to me.
I'm very sorry to you. I'm very sorry to Princeton.
What about the state of New Jersey? They need something to cheer for besides the Mets, who aren't even in New Jersey.
They have Rutgers. They actually have some pretty good minor league
And you know what?
baseball
They have the New York Giants, right? Because they play on East Rutherford.
First pitch fouled back to the screen, 0-1. When I was in Newark earlier this year, my grandparents lived there. There was this
I'm so sorry.
minor league team that had a great stadium, actually. Newark is not terrible. It was a nice little ballpark.
My aunt and
That's all
uncle
I'll say.
are from the great state of New Jersey, Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Cherry Hills, of course.
Beautiful little city. Love that state.
Never been. Runner on first, that is Chase Illig. The throw over is not in time. That was a very impressive at-bat from Chase Illig. The last time up, got down 0-2. Golfed a changeup into center field. Trying to produce a two-out rally. Towards the 0-1 pitch. Threw it by the swinging bat of Utah Jones, 0-2. Jones, single came around to score his last time up. A base hit back in the second was thrown out on the fielder's choice. And also a flyout in the third inning. 0-2, 2 outs. Torres gets his sign, holds for a while, throws back to first. Illig slides back in safely. 0-2.
Torres working very methodically out there. As I mentioned earlier, he's very good at staying out of his own head, which is something that a lot of young pitchers are very susceptible to doing. Getting in their own heads. Torres not one of those guys.
0-2 to Utah. Swung on a miss. Torres strikes out the side. The second time the Foresters have struck out 3 times in an inning today. Nonetheless, they lead 6-1 after no runs, no hits. Excuse me, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We're through 5.5. You're watching Oaks Baseball on the Oaks Baseball Network.
Once again.
Yeah.
The 6th inning for the Oaks.
James Notary back on the hill.
Chase Cockrell.
And Chase Cockrell, who's been perhaps the most impressive Oaks hitter today, steps in for his third at-bat. 2 for 2. Base hit to shortstop, base hit to center field. Both low liners.
And how about his walk-up song, Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus? Pretty indicative of the baseball that he can play, where he wrecks that ball.
He loves wrecking baseballs, I'm sure. As he swings at the first pitch, right back to the screen. Hits something metal, produces a loud sound.
Yeah, hit the railing. The screen went back, and that must be hit really hard for it to be able to go back that far and hit the railing.
0-1. Baseballs beware. With the Bash brothers of Lewis and Cockrell going forward. 0-1 up the middle again. 3 for 3 for Cockrell. That's why he was nominated for Player of the Year in the NCAA.
He sees the field. The only question is, will he avoid a 1-4-5-6-5-4 double play this time around? Remember, he led off the 4th inning with the single, then got on second base to a Michael Spears bunt, but got out in a very long pickle. This time, though, I have a feeling it's through his head that he needs to stay a little bit more attentive on the base path.
Cockrell on first base. Michael Spears, the new hitter. Notary throws the first pitch right by him at 89, 0-1. Next pitch, a shallow fly ball to center field. Could drop. It will. Cockrell might get thrown out at second, but he gets there safely. 2 straight hits to start off the inning for the Oaks. This could be the inning that they fight back into this game.
Well, how about Michael Spears? He's now 2 for 5 in his last 2, 4 for 7 in his last 2 games. Coming into the game on Sunday, 0 for 18 in his first 18 trips with the Oaks. He's finally finding ways to get on base, and maybe having his Ole Miss Rebel buddy Chase Cockrell batting before him has motivated him a little more, but nonetheless, he's playing very well right now.
First pitch to Tillman, taken at the knees for a strike. And maybe there's a level of comfort for Spears hitting behind Cockrell because he probably hits with Cockrell on base quite a bit at Ole Miss as well. Obviously just an assumption. The 0-1 pitch swung on and missed from Tillman, 0-2. Tillman reached on a dropped third strike his last time up. And also struck out in the second inning. He's 0 for 2. DHing today. Notary gets the 0-2 sign. Checks the runner, a slider in the dirt. Good stop behind the plate by Gargarena. 1-2.
Really good stop. Even though he's given up 2 wild pitches, or he's let 2 wild pitches get past, he has done a really good job sacrificing his body to make sure that the Oaks can't advance so far today. He's done an impressive job from behind the plate.
No outs, 2 on. Cockrell on second, Spears off of first. 1-2 pitch taken inside, 2-2.
Seems like Spears is trying to swing at every pitch, Vladimir Guerrero style. He didn't swing at that one, but he almost lifted the bat off his shoulder. On the last pitch in the dirt, he also almost check swung at that one as well.
6 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Foresters. 1, 8, and 3 in the same categories for the Oaks. And Tillman takes strike 3 called on the curveball at the knees. Not happy with himself. He'll head back to the dugout with his 3rd strikeout of the game.
Number 4 for Notary. He's given him 5 hits, but 4 strikeouts and no walks. The Oaks have yet to walk today. That's a big stat. They've struck out 8 times, actually 7 times, but no walks. Not something that you want to see if you're head coach Solis.
Bart West next up. Takes a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. West had an RBI on the sac fly in the 4th. Flew out to right field on a hard hit ball back in the 2nd. The Trojan awaits the 0-1 offering with runners on first and second. Notary kicks, delivers. Curveball just a little bit low, 1-1.
Gargarena continuing to try to place these pitches. His frames have been stellar today. I think he's even gotten a few calls for his pitcher that could have been balls called strikes because of his frames, but right there couldn't get that one.
1-1. Check of the runner and the pitch. Fly ball to right center field. Over to make the catch is Allen. Tagging from second base and going to third is Cockrell. And a productive out for West. He's hit the ball hard 3 times now to right field.
It'll only be productive if the Oaks can capitalize with a runner in scoring position. It's hard with 2 away to be put in a position with runners at the corners down 6-1 to fight your way back, especially as we get into the latter part of this ball game. But the Oaks are equipped to do it. They were held hitless on Saturday by the SoCal Catch into the 7th inning and finally mustered a couple of runs in the 8th to tie up the ball game. So this team isn't a late arriving team. They're almost a 4th quarter team, if you will. You know what they talk about in the NBA. You're not some teams are 4th quarter teams where they're better in the 4th quarter. That's kind of like the Oaks. They finally start getting going later in games, so I wouldn't count them out just yet, but they need to capitalize on these opportunities.
Kamenko swings at the first pitch, lines it off of the catcher's mask, back to the screen, 0-1. Kamenko, a swinging strikeout in the 4th, also struck out looking back in the 2nd. cooling down a little bit. Wind has definitely died down on a beautiful evening in Thousand Oaks. One of the marquee matchups in the CCL as the runner goes to second base. West is safe into second base. The throw is looked to be in time to get him, but the tag was not applied in time. And that was actually not West who stole second base. That was Michael Spears. And now 2 runners in scoring position for the Oaks. A base hit would cut the lead in half to 6-3. Notary takes his walk behind the mound and back on the hill for the 1-1 pitch. Kamenko taps the plate a few times, shows the bat to the pitcher, and now waits the 1-1. The pitch. Off speed, good take from Kamenko, who began to go but held his bat up in plenty of time. 2-1. No action in either bullpen. Excuse me, there is one reliever up for the Foresters. Nobody up currently for the Oaks. A long pause in the delivery, a curveball swung on and missed, 2-2.
And that was the pitch that hit. Kamenko knew it. He was out in front of that curveball. He had it teed up, but swung about a half a second too late. Had he waited, he could have gone all of that one, ripped it. And that is, again, why you come and you play summer ball. That is a pitch that you should hit as a college baseball player. And to be able to hone that skill is really important. That's why he's here.
2-2 to Kamenko in the dirt. Good block again by Gargarena. Full count.
But Kamenko has been a stellar batter for the Oaks. Today, a little bit of struggles. But so far on the season, he's been one of the better hitting catchers for this team.
3-2. Outfield shaded to the right for Kamenko. Cockrell off of third. Spears off of second. Lifted out of play towards the swimming pool. We'll do 3-2 again. Sprinklers off in the distance at the Rams facility as they prepare for their new season.
Probably championship contending season for that team.
They'd hope so. Certainly trying to build off of that NFC West Division Championship last year. The 3-2 pitch to Kamenko, up the middle, off the glove of the pitcher. Notary, who picks it up, underhand over to first, robs Kamenko of a hit. And the Oaks strand a couple more. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, 2 left on base. The score remains 6-1. We'll head to the 7th inning here on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. You got a 6-1 ball game, and for the next 3 innings, maybe the last 3 innings of the game, here's play-by-play by my partner, Jonathan Rifkin.
Thanks, Jordan. Oaks trail 6-1. The new pitcher on the mound making his Oaks debut, Justin Friedman, though he is not new to summer ball. He's a transfer from the Cape Cod League. He played for the YG Red Sox. In one game, he had a 3.36 ERA. Actually, in 2 games, I should say, for that team. He was a temp player, so the Oaks picked up his contract. He started his career at George Washington University, then transferred to Ventura College, and now plays his ball at the University of San Diego.
Did he tell him, though?
Michael Newstifter lines one into left field. Is that fair? No, it's foul on the first pitch that he sees from Justin Friedman for strike 1. Friedman relieves Joe Torres, who went 2 innings, gave up 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. All 3 strikeouts in the 6th inning, and a stellar 2-inning outing for Joe Torres. Torres is a short-term relief pitcher right now on an inning limit from UC Davis, so you'll often see him icing his shoulder after every outing. But right now, it's Mr. Friedman's opportunity to try to show the Oaks and Southern California what he's got. There's a strike up on the board. Newstifter on the day, reached on a fielder's choice, came around to score, and has walked twice as well. The 0-1 pitch, a strike on the inside corner, 0-2 the count. Not a lot of speed, but a lot of pop on those fastballs. 81 miles an hour on the gun. If it was 91, it would be a lot faster too, but it's about placement in that one on the inside corner. Throws a 2-seamer, a 4-seamer, a changeup, and what he says is a breaking ball as that pitch is in the dirt, 1-2 the count. I asked him, is it a curveball, slider? He said, well, it's kind of a slurve hybrid. It's like a changeup that has some pop, a little bit of break to it. He said, we'll call it a curveball, but I don't think they've deemed that kind of pitch that he throws any sort of pitch yet. I said, why don't we just name it the Friedman pitch? He said, yeah, I like that. But I think for all intents and purposes, we'll call it a curveball here on the broadcast. The 1-2. Line down the third base line into the Oaks bullpen once again. And staying alive is Michael Newstifter, Oklahoma State Cowboy. A couple of rivals on this Forrester roster. Brandon Zaragoza playing at Oklahoma, and Ryan Cash and Newstifter playing at Oklahoma State. Must be interesting to have to be teammates with players that you're taught to hate at your various respective schools. 1-2 pitch, half-hearted swing, pitch is low and away. Did he go around? No, he did not. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's not common that you see, at least in the CCL, rivals be on the same team. But I guess that also is subject to whether or not you believe that various schools are rivals or not. But obviously Oklahoma and Oklahoma State in that boat. The 2-2. Cracked up the middle into center field for a single. Newstifter's on with his first hit of the ball game. Leads off the 7th inning with a runner on first base. The Foresters trying to stir some more trouble up for the Oaks. They lead 6-1 with their 9th hit of the ball game. Runner on first here in the top of the 7th inning, and Andrew Wiss about to take the left-handed batter's box. Wiss on the day, 1 for 3, reached on error in the 2nd, struck out in the 3rd, and doubled in the 5th, though he was out because Michael Newstifter was trying to steal second base. Then Wiss went home, and instead of Tanner Wright trying to tag Newstifter, he threw the ball back home to nail Wiss out. 0-0. Ball low. From Air Force. A lot of military men in the CCL. We saw a couple of VMI products on the catch. U.S. Marine Corps player as well. That pitch is lined down the third base line, but out of play, 1-1 the count. Reiteration of the Oaks field for you. Here out and right is Michael Spears, Elijah Alexander in center, in left field, Chase Cockrell, Bart West at first, Tanner Wright at second, Sam Shakin at short, Brandon Lewis at third, Zach Kamenko behind the dish, and the Oaks' 4th pitcher of the day, Justin Friedman, on the rubber. From the University of San Diego, a Torero. We said a Triton on Sunday, but we realized it's actually the UCSD team. That pitch is cracked foul, 1-2 the count. UCSD, speaking of, a phenomenal Division II baseball program. The Foresters had 2 of their best players on their squad last year on the team that lost in the Division II championship. Foresters are always known for having some inexplicable talent from all over the country. They're basically another Team USA. The 1-2. Cracked over the first, but out of play. Once again, 1 ball, 2 strikes. These Forester batters know how to stay alive, and they're continuing to do it here late in this ball game. 6 runs, 9 hits for the Foresters. 1 run, 8 hits, 3 errors for the Oaks. First of a 2-game homestand for this team. We'll be back here at 4:15 tomorrow for the first matchup of the season against the Arroyo Seco Saints out of Pasadena. And the Oaks will hit the road and play up in Healdsburg, about 8 hours north, on Saturday and Sunday. The Foresters head to the SoCal Catch for a 2-game series tomorrow as that pitch misses low and away. 2-2 the count. Two-two offering. Cracked over to second, right. Shaken over for 1. The relay to first is not in time. That'll be a 4-6 fielder's choice, allowing Wiss to reach first base. Nonetheless, the leadoff runner is out on the fielder's choice. And that puts an out up on the board here. And it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter. Nope, it is not. It's still Cameron Guarena, excuse me. Though there is a few batters looming out of the Forester bullpen. No, Guarena will still be the batter. And Friedman back on the dish, ready to pitch. Toes the rubber, takes the sign from Cam & Co. These two pitcher and catcher combination just met. Trying to build some chemistry quickly. The first offering with 1 away. Popped up, but out of play for strike 1. The sun beginning to set as the shadows get longer here on the baseball diamond. Hitting our 2-hour and 24th minute of play.
But it's been a fast 2 hours.
It really has, and all these games between the Oaks and the Foresters will go quickly. The only matchup in the month of June, next time these two teams play, will be on July 16th. Runner goes, swung and missed for strike 2. The throw is not in time. And Andrew Wiss is over at second base with a stolen base. His first of the ball game. After that, I said June 16th. I actually meant June 10th matchup. The Oaks will play the Foresters on June 21st and June 22nd. These will be the final 2 times these two teams meet during the regular season. Of course, the CCL playoffs on July 28th and 29th are hosted right here at Cal Lutheran. And we'll have the call regardless of who's in the playoffs. If the Oaks don't make it, we will still be the official broadcasters for the CCL. The 0-2 misses up and away, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Big thank you to Commissioner Pat Burns and the CCL for that honor. Of course, last year the SoCal Catch were the beneficiaries. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 away, 1 on. The 1-2. Cracked over to left field, towing the line, and it goes foul. Very close to being fair and going to the corner for undoubtedly an RBI double, maybe even a triple, but the Oaks can take a sigh of relief on that one. And Jordan, you and I were talking during the last break. The Oaks aren't necessarily playing too bad in terms of the fundamentals, getting runners on base, getting hits, and trying to compete with this team. The place that they're hurting is it's just been sloppy baseball. 3 errors. They've given up 5 walks. They have yet to walk themselves, and they've struck it out 9 times. Friedman started his windup, but turned around, stepped off. Almost a balk. We've seen a lot of balks already here this season. 3 in Cal Lutheran and 2 elsewhere. In my 3 years now with the Oaks, those are the only balks I've ever seen in the CCL. The 1-2 pitch, swing on and missed. Guarena goes down swinging, his second time striking out on the ball game. And Freedom chalks up his first CCL strikeout here with 2 away now in the 7th inning. That brings up Brandon Zarazoga on the day for him. 1 for 3. Fielder's choice. He does have 2 RBIs, a single and a run scored. The Oklahoma Sooner digging a hole in that right-handed batter's box to get some traction with that right leg. High stance, rests that bat on his shoulder. First pitch, up and in for ball 1. Some pop on that one, 89 miles an hour. We started the inning with Friedman's fastball at 82. But he's been able to find the velocity here. 1-0 pitch is a strike at 91. There it is. He can throw. He's able to chalk up a strike right there. Zaragoza trying to extend this inning for the Foresters. They struck at first, top of the 2nd with a run, then 2 in the 4th. The 1-1 gets away from Kamenko. Advancing from 2nd to 3rd on the wild pitch is Andrew Wiss. As I mentioned, 1 run in the 2nd inning for the Foresters, 2 runs in the 4th. The Oaks responded with 1 of their own in the bottom of the 4th. And the Foresters erupted for 3 runs in the 5th. Neither team has scored since. That is where we have gotten to where we are in the ball game thus far. Runner on 3rd now, 2 away, 2-1 count to Brandon Zaragoza. The 2-1. Cracked over to 3rd. Lewis over to West for out number 3. The base runner is no longer a threat with 3 outs up on the board. No runs, hit, no errors, 1 left on base. We're through 6.5. It's time for the 7th inning stretch. Take a stretch. Enjoy yourself in this break. We'll be back. Oaks and Foresters. Foresters up 6-1 on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. Back here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Hope you enjoyed the 7th inning stretch. Oaks trail 6-1. Tanner Wright in the 9th spot to lead things off. Brad Demko, the new pitcher on the mound, sporting the number 10 on his back from Sam Houston State, an Austin, Texas native. will take the helm. James Notary's day's done. 3 innings, 5 runs, 5 hits. Wow. No runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts. First pitch to right is low and away for ball 1. He's 0 for 2 with a line out and a ground out. By the way, there's some changes in the field. Looks like Christian Gambale is at second base and Ryan Cash is at third. The 1-0 is high and deep to left center field. Making his way is Wiss out of center field for out number 1. One away now for Sam Shaken. 1 for 3 on the day. A single, a pop out, and a strikeout to his name. Reiteration of the rest of the Forrester field for Hugh, besides Parker Upton, who I actually just got word is the second baseman. Out and right is Logan Allen, Andrew Wisson center, Luke Ritter in left. Brandon Zarazoga still at short, Ryan Cash at third, Utah Jones at first, and Juan Garena behind the dish. First pitch to Sam Shaken is swung on and missed for strike 1. Parker Upton from Creighton is the new second baseman. The Oaks are only trailing the Foresters by 1 hit in that category, but it's the 3 errors and the 6 walks that they've given up that have been the difference as that pitch is swung and missed for strike 2. And you look at the Forester roster. 7 players have been drafted previously, 2 in the 40th round, the rest in the 30th rounds. Nobody playing right now, though. The 0-2 offering to Shaken, misses inside, 1-2 the count to the Valparaiso Crusader. Shout out to his father John, his uncle Bill. Sam, a very consistent hitter here for the Oaks, is starting to heat up a little bit. Though still trying to find his swing here in this ball game. Demka deals the 1-2 upstairs, 2-2 the count. And for Brad Demko, on this season, in a couple of innings pitched, only 1 run given up. Pretty consistent for him. 4 innings to be exact. The 2-2 offering. Inside, and from 0-2 to 3-2 now, Sam Shaken is doing his best to show the patience here and even possibly draw the Oaks' first walk of the ball game. And for that to come in the 7th inning, that is not a stat, if you're head coach, at least, that you want. The fact that this team has yet to draw a walk is a little bit troubling because those are free bases that you could take. It's a lot of the strikeouts as that 3-2 pitch chalks up another one. Now the 10th strikeout of the ball game for the Oaks. The Foresters are dealing right now. Demko gets his first strikeout of the ball game and puts out number 2 up on the board here in the 7th inning. Brandon Lewis stepping in now. 1 for 3 on the ball game, a pair of flyouts and a single. One of the Baum brothers here for the Oaks, Chase Cockrell and Brandon Lewis. Takes that first pitch low for ball 1.
The Baum brothers, the Bash Bros.
The home run hitters.
Trying to think of another, I can't.
I'm sure there's some. The 1-0 pitch is hacked at and missed. 1-1 the count. Elijah Alexander waiting on deck. Should we get that far in the inning? 6 runs, 9 hits for the Foresters. 1 run, 8 hits, 3 errors for the Oaks.
The Homer homies.
We'll pitch these to them and see which one they like. The 1-1. Up and away. 2-1 the count. They're like the Steph Curry and Klay Thompson to the Conejo Oaks. You have the Splash Brothers up there in the Bay Area. Here we have the Homer homies. I kind of like that one. That one's growing on me a little bit.
Thank you.
The 2-1. High and deep to left field, but it's going to go foul and out. Evens the count, 2-2. Lewis wanted that one. A little bit out in front of it. Pulled it off the end of the barrel, though. Crowd thinning out a little bit, especially to our right. The Forester fans have taken a leave of absence towards the latter part of this game. The Oaks fans have stuck around a little bit, hoping for a comeback. The 2-2. High over the hopping glove of Zaragoza in the left field, and Brandon Lewis is on with a 2-out single. He's now 2 for 4 on the ball game, and that's his second consecutive 2-out single. The Oaks trying to extend this lead, fight their way back into this game, though it won't be easy. But if anybody's able to keep this inning alive, the man in the left-handed batter's box, Elijah Alexander, is the guy to do it. The Oaks have gotten a hit in every inning but the second. That's a good stat to be able to consistently get base runners on, but they've failed to get them around. 7 base runners left on so far in this ball game. A lefty-on-lefty matchup, though that doesn't phase Alexander as that pitch misses low for ball 1. Alexander had a home run off of a lefty about a week ago over that right field fence. The longest home run, at least in the last 3 years for the Conejo Oaks. The 1-0 pitch popped up to right field. Does not have the distance as Allen will move over to his left and make the catch for out number 3. The Oaks were able to muster a 2-out hit, but nothing else doing. No runs, a hit, no errors. While left on base. Once again, the chances dwindling here for the Conejo Oaks. As we go to the top of the 8th inning, they trail 6-1 on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. Logan Allen will lead things off here in the top of the 8th inning for the Foresters. Welcome back, everybody. Jordan Brenner, myself, Jonathan Rifkin, Sean McKinnon, our producer, on hand with you. Foresters leading the Oaks 6-1. Allen, Cash, and Ritter, the 3 due up for Bill Pintart's squad. And Justin Friedman from USD back on the mound here for the Oaks. Pitched pretty well in his Oaks debut last inning. First pitch is a curveball outside for ball 1. Logan Allen on the day. 1 for 3, a single, a stolen base, and a run scored in the 4th. A pair of flyouts to center, and he was hit by a pitch in the 2nd. The 1-0 is a ball upstairs, but it goes off of the glove of Kamenko into the backstop. He thought it went through his glove. That'll happen sometimes where it looks like a ball goes right through your glove, but instead he just missed the catch. 2 balls, no strikes to the Arkansas Fort Smith product. That pitch is at the knees for strike 1.
Friedman making a pretty impressive Oaks debut, I would say. Found in the zone, good stuff. I've been impressed so far.
2-1 pitch. Hit out of play, 2-2 the count. Fort Smith, one of the better baseball programs in the Arkansas state system. That being said, though, the Omahawks obviously the best. That Arkansas team still in the College World Series. The 2-2 pitch misses away. Kamenko coming to a sliding stop to stop it. 3-2 the count. By the way, I think we're going to see Tyler Ryan come in as a pinch hitter in the next inning. That is just a hunch because I saw him go back to the batting cage, and coming off the day he had 2 days ago. That might be a good move as that one is ripped down the left field line and stays fair. Going into the corner, rounding first, going to second is Allen. Cockrell tracks it down, but it's too late. And that is a stand-up double here for Logan Allen, his second base hit of the ball game. And a leadoff double here for the Foresters in the 8th inning gets things rolling for them.
He went fishing on that pitch, down and in, dropped the barrel to the ball, lined one down the left field line. That's a very impressive hit because that ball was actually placed in a pretty good place for Friedman.
Third hit given up by Friedman on the day, the 10th overall for the Foresters. 10 hits to the Oaks 9, though up 6-1. Ryan Cash now digging in. The only Forester to not reach base in the lineup. Spears that one to Shaken at short. He raises to the bag, but it's not in time. The foot race ends with Logan Allen beating Shaken over to the bag. Nonetheless, though, heads up play by the shortstop, 1 out.
That would have been a crazy play by Shaken. He was almost a little bit confused that the ball came into his glove, and then like a little kid, he just started sprinting toward the bag. I think he could have applied the tag, but either way, Allen back safely at second base.
Luke Ritter now digging in. By the way, Ryan Cash 0 for 5. Pretty surprising stat for him as Luke Ritter takes a strike. Oh no, a ball low. It looked like a strike, but I'm not an umpire. On the day for Luke Ritter, 1 for 2. A couple of walks, a single, a strikeout. Chase Illig waiting on deck. Toning the rubber is Friedman. Runner on second, one away, checks the runner and offers the 1-0. A strike at the belt. Nice pitch there from Friedman. As I mentioned, Friedman is a transfer from the YG Red Sox of the Cape Cod League. He was on a short-term contract. Went to Ventura College before going to USD, but he started his baseball career at George Washington University, redshirted his freshman year there, and decided that he wanted to go elsewhere. Played stellar for Ventura College. The 1-1 pitch, a big swing and a miss for strike 2. Now wants to make his name known through the Conejo Valley area. And shutting down the Foresters is a way to do that, though it's not easy when you're trailing 6-1. Checking the runner at second. 1-2 pitch. Cracked over to Shaken at short. Fields it to first for out number 2. Advancing from second to third on the play was Logan Allen. Productive out here if Allen can score for the Foresters. 2 away. And that was a pretty productive pitching duel for Friedman. He mixed up his pitches well. Kept Luke Ritter off balance, which is not easy to do from the mound. And for a guy who hasn't seen any of these batters, who kind of came into this game blind, just joining the Oaks, he's pitched pretty well, all intents and purposes. First pitch is in there for strike 1 to Chase Illig in the cleanup spot. 1 for 3, 2 strikeouts, a walk, and a single back in the 6th. The CCL home run hitting leader has yet to put one up over the wall here at Cal Lutheran. Takes that curveball at the knees for strike 2. Beautiful pitch there from Friedman, perhaps the best all day.
Yeah, I agree. A belt-buckling breaking ball.
Oh, 2 pitch, swung and missed. Kamenko applies the tag for good measure, and we are done with the top of the 8th. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. We're through 7.5. The Oaks are 6 outs away from losing this game, though the offense will try to muster some runs here and claw their way back. All of that on the other side of the break, right here on the Oaks Broadcasting Network. Chase Cockrell, one of the lone bright spots in the Oaks day today, trailing 6-1, will step in here. In his 2018 debut, he's 3 for 3 with 3 singles. The Oaks have yet to draw him in. Brad Demka back on the mound. Cockrell pops that one back and out of play, though. 0-1 the count to the Ole Miss Rebel. Was a semifinalist for NCAA College Player of the Year. Had an incredible second season with the Rebels. And looks to bring that spark here to the Oaks. Demka, though, deals the 1-0 pitch outside, 1-1 the count. Tyler Ryan waiting on deck in place of Michael Spears. Ryan had a very good day a couple days ago. The 1-1 offering here from Demka. Big swing and a miss from Cockrell, strike 2.
Jonathan, who will end the year with more home runs? Chase Cockrell or Brandon Lewis?
Well, last year Cockrell had 6 and Lewis had 8 for the Oaks. That's a good question. Lewis has a 1 home run advantage right now, but I don't think that's too much. I think Cockrell ends the year with a 1 home run edge over Brandon Lewis.
Numbers?
1-2 pitch slapped in the left center field. That's going to go back to the wall. Rounding first and going to second is Cockrell. Fielding that ball is Wiss. And Chase Cockrell is now 4 for 4 on his Oaks debut. A stand-up double. He makes this game look way too easy.
Yeah, he certainly does. That was another ball just ripped up the middle. He's hit one base hit that, he didn't hit it very hard, but the next 3 just, he stings them off the bat. Different sound. Wow.
And head coach Shalise actually pulled Tyler Ryan and put back in Michael Spears, so Tyler Ryan will not come into pinch hit. Michael Spears will remain in the game. He's actually been pretty good, 2 for 3, a pair of singles and a run scored. Look to drive in his Ole Miss Rebel buddy. Takes the first pitch upstairs for ball 1. The Oaks trying to find a way back into this game. 6-1, both teams have 10 hits, only the second time the Oaks have hit into double digits this season. But the 3 errors and the 5 walks they've given up have been the difference. 1-0 pitch, misses inside, 2-0 the count to Spears.
10 hits for the Oaks, only 1 run. You're not going to win very many ball games doing that. And it's been the same thing all year long. They get on base, they get them over, they cannot get them in.
Popped up, out of play, 2-1 the count. Just over the Forester bus and into the garbage can. Guess that ball decided to take a little break and
relax in the trash.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself. Demka checks the runner, offers the 2-1, popped up into center field. Wiss veers to his left. Will Cockrell try it? He will not. He actually came off the bag, but decided wisely to hold up as that throw came firing in. 1 away runner on second here, and Michael Tillman stepping in.
Yeah, that base means nothing, so good decision from Cockrell to stay on second base. The Oaks need to keep all base runners that they can.
Michael Tillman on the day 0 for 3. Though he did reach first base, stealing first base after a drop third strike back in the 4th inning. So using his resilience to find ways on base. And you'll need that here with 1 away. Pops that one up into foul territory over the Forester dugout for strike 1. And it's Cal State Los Angeles in the fall. I wonder who influenced him. It could be head coach Shalise of the Oaks, a Cal State Golden Eagle in his own right. Was a player there and then a coach there before he made the move to Rio Mesa High School about 19 years ago. The Cal State LA is a pretty good baseball program, especially for local guys. They get a lot of transfers from Pierce Junior College, where Bill Pickett's the head coach there was drafted out of Cal State LA back in the 80s. The 0-1 pitch, though, was taken for strike 1 at the knees. Actually, strike 2 as the first pitch was fouled off. 0-2-1 up on the board. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 away, 1 on. Demka comes set from the stretch at the belt and offers the 0-2. In the dirt, ball 1. The Oaks have John Vergara, the lefty from Glendale City College, warming up in the bullpen. Demka checks the runner, offers the 1-2. Sliced over to short, backhanded by Zagara, but it goes over the glove of Jones. Cockrell will stay at third. Oh, no, he's going to come home. No, he will go back to third wisely. He was halfway down the third. Brian Wilson literally almost jumped in front of him from the third base coaching box and tried holding him back himself before Cockrell got the message. Nonetheless, though, we'll see if they give the Oaks an infield hit because it was hit pretty far out in that shortstop position. No, they won't. That'll be Zaragoza's first error of the season.
That is a tough error to give. Wow.
That ball was scorched out to short. But because Zaragoza made a clean grab on it without having to dive or move too far out of his position, they're going to give him an error. The first on the ball game here for the Foresters, and the Oaks have an opportunity to make this a ball game at least as Bart West steps in.
Brutal call. Nobody in the world could make that play.
First pitch is a great stop by Juan Carrena behind the dish for ball one. That ball could have been a disaster, but Juan Carrena recognized what he needed to do and was down really quickly to block it. Tillman at first, Cockrell at third, one away here. And Bart West trying to make it a ball game. He's 0 for 2 with an RBI sack. Swings and misses at that one for strike one. And Bart West goes through these bouts. He's really, really good. But he'll be a little bit streaky at times. And yes, that can be beneficial or not, depending on the situation. Demka deals the 1-1. Outside, ball 2, and it seems like he's going away from West. West knew that one and never even lifted the bat off his shoulder.
I don't know why they keep going away to West. He's hit the ball 3 times very hard to right field.
You've got to figure at some point he's going to be able to pick up one of those pitches. Try jamming him maybe. 2-1 pitch is a curveball foul tipped into the glove of Juan Carrena, 2-2 the count now. Two offering. In the dirt, gets away from Juan Carrena. Cockrell will come in and score. The first run since the 4th inning comes around to score for the Oaks. They trail 6-2. Advancing on the wild pitch from first to second is Michael Tillman. And the Oaks are trying to stay in business here. Cameron Juan Carrena cannot handle that one, though he's done, and for all intents and purposes, an amazing job from behind the plate so far today. Ruled a wild pitch. Finally, the Oaks are able to put a runner on over the plate, I should say. 2-2 here to West. Inside, it was actually 3-2. Ball 4. Bart West walks. That's the first walk of the ball game for the Oaks, and it's a big one. Trailing by 4, 2 on now. And Zach Kamenko coming into bat. Nope, this time it is Tyler Ryan, the slugger from the University of the Pacific, who has turned things around here in the last couple of games. Kamenko's day is over. He went 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts and a ground out. Ryan was our player of the game in the 9-1 win against the Barons, batting 160 now. 3 runs scored, 1 RBI. Only 7 strikeouts, though, in 27 plate appearances, so if you need a guy to get it, at least make contact, this is the guy to do it. Swings and misses that one for strike 1. Bart West over at first, still leads the Oaks in walks drawn. He now has 7 on the season. Michael Tillman over at second, 1 away. The Oaks may put on the hit and run, though, as the Shadows now overtake the field. We'll see how long this game will be played out, because darkness is looming. The 0-1 pitch gets away once again from Juan Carrena, and the runners will advance in the scoring position. Some miscues here for the Foresters in the field, and they are trying to gift the Oaks an opportunity to get back in this game. Runners in scoring position, 1 away, and a 1-1 count to Tyler Ryan. So for a game that has seemingly gone the Foresters' way the entire time, finally the Oaks are catching a few breaks. The 1-1 popped up, out of play, 1-2 the count to Tyler Ryan. And this darkness does have an adverse effect on the offense, as well as the pitching eye. As a pitcher, It's sometimes harder to see that ball, or actually the glove of the catcher, as it gets lost in the shadows. The sun fully behind the hill behind us, though. There is still some light on the field. The 1-2 pitch from Demka is a curveball. Called strike 3, though. It looked like Juan Garena really placed that well. Up and away, but
it was a good frame by Juan Garena.
Nonetheless, strikeout number 2 on the game for Demka puts out number 2 up on the board, and Tanner Wright stepping in here. He's 0 for 3, though. If anybody can get a hit and not strike out, it's Tanner Wright. Again, great frame by Juan Garena. I really don't think that would have been called a strike if he didn't frame that.
No way it would have. I mean, he dragged that baseball down about a foot.
But that's heads-up baseball. That's how you play the game. Wright pops up the first pitch over to first base. Jones is under it for out number 3. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 left on base. We're through 8 full here from George Sparky Anderson Field. The Oaks trail 6-2. John Vergara takes the helm here for the Conejo Oaks, trying to stifle this Forester offense one last time and try to make up the difference in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Vergara comes in place of Justin Friedman, who went 2 innings, gave up 4 hits, no runs, though, no walks, and 1 strikeout on the season for John Vergara out of Glendale City College as he pitches to Utah Jones the first time, low for ball 1. Actually, no, it looks like we have a pinch hitter out there for the Foresters. It's number 2. Oh, no, it is Utah Jones. Nope, no pinch hitter. We're still where we need to be. 0-1 count up on the board and Vergara pitching. But as I mentioned, for John Vergara, one of 3 lefties on this Oaks roster in 5 appearances, he has an 0-1 record, though he has 1 save, a 9 ERA, with 6 innings pitched. That one is high and deep to left field, making his way, though, is Cockrell, and he makes a jumping catch for out number 1.
Yeah, impressive adjustment by Cockrell in left field. Did not have the best route to the baseball, but his ball skills way too good to miss that. And Eric Mott getting some work in the bullpen. We'll see if he gets some work today. Maybe it's just a bullpen session. Maybe we'll see him in extra innings if we get there.
I do think that Eric Mott is the slated starter for tomorrow also against the Arroyo Seco Saints, so this bullpen session may be in preparation for that. Nonetheless, though, John Vergara deals the 0-0 pitch. An inside strike to the new batter.
What I have noticed in CCL play and summer collegiate ball this first week or so, the pitchers who work faster are more effective.
That pitch is up and away, 1-1 the count. By the way, there is a new batter. Sorry to cut you off here, Brenner. It is Christian Gambale from Air Force. Comes in place of Michael Newstifter, who went 1 for 2 on the day. Pair of walks, a single in, and reached on a fielder's choice. The 1-1 cracked foul back into the glove of the new catcher, Bryce Veet. 1-2 the count.
As I was saying, the pitchers like Vergara, like Angus Denton, the guy who pound the zone, get the ball back and throw again quickly, are more effective.
That pitch misses inside, 2-2 the count. 6 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for Santa Barbara. 2 runs, 10 hits, 3 errors for Conejo here. In the waning moments of daylight on a Tuesday evening from Thousand Oaks, California. The 2-2. Cracked over to third, but it toes the line and eventually goes foul left of the third base bag. Lewis lets it go. 2-2 the count remains. We'll be back here at 4:15 tomorrow. The Oaks and the Arroyo Seco Saints kick off their first of 4 matchups of the season. The Saints in their second year of the CCL. Great organization, a lot of fun to always play with. The 2-2 called strike 3 at the knees, and Vergara gets another out by way of the strikeout this time.
Yeah, Vergara just said goodnight. That was nasty.
Parker Upton.
That was wonderful. What a great pitch.
10 strikeouts now for the Oaks on the ball game. And that'll bring up Parker Upton from Creighton. Came in place of Andrew Weiss in center field in the last inning. Will now get his first up of the ball game. Takes the first pitch upstairs for ball 1. The Creighton Jayhawk. Pretty good baseball school, though obviously known for their basketball program.
Oh, yeah.
Great academics, though. Very good school in Nebraska. 1-0 pitch. It's a strike on the outside corner. 1-1 the count. Hope everybody's enjoying their Tuesday. Foresters look like they may win round 1, though we still have the bottom of the 9th to go, and the Oaks fighting their way through this game. That 1-1 pitch bounces in the dirt. 2-1 the count. But this is only the first of 4 rounds between these two teams. Last year, the season series was split. 2 years ago, the Oaks won the season series, 4-3. The 2-1 pitch upstairs, ball 3. And you can guarantee that this series is going to be a very good one. Again, even though the Oaks are losing 6-2, they have matched the Foresters in hits with 10. They've outstruck and out the Foresters on the pitching side. It's just the mental mistakes. 3-1 pitch is a strike at the knees. 3-2 the count now for Vergara. And if they can learn to limit those mental mistakes, I think this Oaks team could compete with the Foresters for that top spot in the CCL. But again, down this part of the season, what we've seen, the reason this team is 5-5 is because of the mental mistakes. Payoff pitch, swung on and missed. Strike 3, Upton goes down swing. The second consecutive strikeout for John Vergara, and we are done with the top of the 9th. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. The first time all game long, the Foresters are retired in short order. The Oaks will have one more opportunity to try to make up the 4-run deficit. An exciting bottom of the 9th when we come back at George Sparky Anderson Field. What's going on? Oh, yeah, no worries. I hope the Oaks tie and we get this game called Due to Darkness. Like against the Catch.
This would be the last half inning no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely.
Number 25, Sam Shaken.
Garrett Crochet, the closer here from Tennessee, will take the helm for the Santa Barbara Foresters. He was drafted last year by Milwaukee in the 34th round, opted not to go. And we'll see here as the first pitch is a 92-mile-an-hour strike. Swung on a miss to Sam Shaken for strike one. Shaken on the day, 1 for 4, a single, a pair of strikeouts, and a pop-out. Crochet is a force to be reckoned with out there. The lanky lefty deals the 0-1. Cracked foul, 0-2 the count, and he's oddly reminiscent of Nate McMillan. Check that, Evan McMillan. Nate McMillan was the NBA coach. Evan McMillan, who was the closer for the Foresters last year from Texas A&M, who threw 96.
Wow.
The Foresters never lack speedy pitchers in the back of their bullpen. Crochet deals the 0-2. Strike 3 at the knees. 3 pitches. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, Mr. Shaken, out number 1 here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
From the left side, throwing 92 with ease. Coming out on a cool night and doing it too. That's very impressive. This guy clearly has a major league future.
Was already drafted by Milwaukee, though. Opted to go to Tennessee, just finished up his freshman season there. He was drafted out of high school. The 0-0 pitch to Brandon Lewis is a big swing and a miss for strike 1. The only problem, though, is when you're a pitcher who throws this quickly, when you face a batter who hits as hard as Brandon Lewis, if he can get a grip on one, that ball is gone. The 0-1, cracked over to third, and it's mishandled at third by Ryan Cash. Brandon Lewis reaches first base on the error by the third baseman, Ryan Cash, and the Yokes have a little bit of hope here, though darkness beginning to settle, and you got to wonder how long will this inning last if the Yokes can indeed extend the inning. By the way, new batter is Drew Sims here for the Oaks from Utah Valley University. Leads the team in batting average. He has had a couple days off, though. To date, .313 batting average. Only 11 plate appearances, though. This is a guy you want on. One on, one away. The first pitch, way inside for ball 1. Scorching hot at 92.
Oh, yeah.
The release for Crochet is scary. Just absolutely scary. The 1-0 pitch, swung and missed, 1-1 the count.
Funky delivery, a little bit like Alex Wood.
Absolutely, and that's why Alex Wood is so dominant, because he comes around on the side. The 1-1. In between short and third in the left field. Drew Sims coming in with a pinch hit single in place of Elijah Alexander, and the Oaks have 2 on now with the man who's 4 for 4 in the ball game in Chase Cockrell.
Hold your breath, Oaks fans. This could be an interesting ending. We'll just put it that way.
The Oaks always make it interesting, and the Foresters always make it interesting. It doesn't matter which team is down. Both teams always fight and make it go down to the wire. I wouldn't be surprised if the Foresters end up winning this game and the Oaks leave the bases loaded, though. We'll see what happens. Cockrell's 4 for 4. The first pitch is a beautiful breaking pitch, though. Just misses low, ball 1.
This is nothing to Cockrell. He's been facing this level of pitching all year long.
Faces the likes of Arkansas, a great baseball school. Mississippi State, who's in the College World Series, his rival. Auburn, the 1-0 pitch, a 93-mile-an-hour fastball at the knees for strike 1. Fastest pitch that we have seen all season long, I think, here at Sparky Anderson.
If it's not the fastest, it's up there.
Of course, Robin Bedell last year hit 95 for the Oaks. That was the fast pitch I've seen. The 1-1. Another strike at the knees at 93. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Chase Cockrell. Lewis at second. Sims at first, and Cockrell trying to stay alive here. Down in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Southpaw from the stretch, toes the rubber, checks the runners, and offers the 1-2. Big swing and a miss for strike 3. Fastball, curveball. That was a nasty, nasty repertoire there from Crochet. How do you hit that? 2 strikeouts now in the inning for him.
Quick answer, Jonathan, is you don't. That is simply perfect execution on the mound.
Cockrell goes down for his first time. Puts 2 outs. As Michael Spears fouls 1 off for strike 1. The Oaks have been fighting. They have 2 runs on 11 hits and 3 errors. 6 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors for the Foresters. The mental mistakes have been the Achilles heel for the Oaks in this one, though, and that's the biggest reason why the Foresters are up. The 0-1 in the dirt. Good backhand, though, by Juan Garena for for ball 1, I should say. Crochet on the mound, trying to shut down these Oaks. So they're putting up quite a fight. 2 on, 2 away, 1-1 count. Crochet checks the runner at second. Offers the 1-1, low, ball 2. 94 miles an hour on the gun.
Wow. And still a young guy. Here's a guy who could realistically be hitting 98 when he hits the major leagues.
Well, the fact that he just finished his freshman year at Tennessee and he's hitting 94, absolutely that could be the case. Still growing. Checks the runners once again from the belt, 2-1. Misses inside, 3-1. An overextension here on the 3 fastballs has Michael Spears out ahead. 3 balls and a strike. The Oaks are trying to load up the bases and bring Michael Tillman up as the tying run. A 3-1. Upstairs, ball 4. Bases are loaded now, and Michael Tillman will take the long walk to the right-handed batter's box. Everybody must have butterflies because he represents the game-tying run. If he can launch one, which he hasn't yet this season, but can with the potential he has, that would knot up the game. 2 away, 6-2 ball game. The bases are loaded.
Will the Oaks go dancing in the dark? That's to be seen.
Second walk drawn by the Oaks all day long by Michael Spears. And Tillman, who got his first base hit in the last at-bat, takes a pitch outside for ball 1.
And as you mentioned, Jonathan, when you have a pitcher throwing this hard on the mound, any contact is going to go a long way.
As long as you tee it up correctly. The entire Forester bullpen looking from afar. They're all on their feet. The 1-0, cracked foul back against the screen, 1-1 the count. And you have to believe this darkness is going to affect the ability for these batters to see. When you're throwing 94 and it's hard to see, I mean, this is just a white dot coming at you with the darkness. Good luck, Michael Tillman. And this guy can hit. You know he can hit.
Still a few minutes of daylight, though.
The 1-1, and the waning daylight is a curveball in there for strike 2. Wow.
Yeah, you're not going to hit that. You're not going to hit that at high noon. You're not going to hit that at a 7 p.m. start at Dodger Stadium. You're never going to hit that pitch.
We've seen 94-mile-an-hour fastballs and 76-mile-an-hour sliders from this guy. Perhaps the best pitcher we've seen all season long in Crochet. 1 strike away from ending it. The 1-2 popped up in the shallow center field. That's going to drop. 1 comes round. Rounding third and coming home is the second run in Drew Sims. Sliding safely in the third is Michael Spears. And the Oaks make a dent in the league. They trail by 2, 6-4. The tying run at first base. Another runner at third base, and Bart West, the man who could tie up this game, will step in.
Clutch, 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 clutch. This Oaks team, the past few days, have proven to me they have that clutch gene. They did not prove that to me earlier in the season. They came back on Saturday. They're attempting to come back today. Whatever happens, this is a successful game in my opinion.
Absolutely. Trailing 6-4, they're putting up some fight here. And Bart West, who's had a pretty good ball game, will step in. He walked his last time up. He had an RBI sacrifice to center and 2 lineouts to right. The first pitch. Inside, gets away from the catcher, Juan Garena, but he quickly finds that ball. Heads up play from behind the dish.
Tillman at first base has to find a way to get over to second base there. You got to have a secondary lead that can get you to second base there. Because if you do, a base hit ties this game.
1-0 count. Crochet checks Tillman at first and offers. Slapped over the third, but foul evens the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. Michael Tillman singled with a 1-2 count and 2 outs away in this ball game with the bases loaded to bring this game within reach for the Oaks. As I alluded to earlier, no matter what happens, every single ball game between these two teams is a fight to the finish, and you can see why right here. The 1-1 to West. A beautiful slider in there for strike 2. We have yet to see a batter hit that pitch. The movement on that slider starts out at 5 o'clock and comes around at 8 o'clock, I guess you could say, on the clock. It is so hard to hit. 1 ball, 2 strikes to West. Slapped foul, protecting for his life here now. And we'll do it again.
And the Foresters bullpen now on 2 consecutive pitches have thrown a ball that has gotten by their catcher and come back into play as a distraction. Maybe some antics from the Oaks rivals. Probably not.
By the way, the new catcher for the Foresters, he was not announced, is Pudge Teobaldi, who came in for Cameron Guangarea. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Crochet deals, up and away, 2-2 the count.
This is the biggest at-bat Bart West has had as an Oak. An introduction to the Foresters-Oaks rivalry for all these new players in this matchup.
And now everybody who is new to this rivalry sees why it's a rivalry. That pitch misses low and inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Strap in, folks. We're going down to the wire. Runners at the corners, a 3-2 count, 2 outs, and a 2-run ball game. Crochet takes his breath and offers. Runner goes, and it's slapped up the middle and into center field. Rounding third and coming home is Spears. At third base is Tillman. And the Oaks have a 1-run ball game. They are stringing together 2-out hits. And now Bryce Vitt will come in here. The tying run is check that, 90 feet away from scoring. This is an incredible comeback. If the Oaks don't do it, for all intents and purposes, as I think they actually might call this game due to darkness as head coach Sleece will come out.
Wow.
But for all intents and purposes, what an inning for the Oaks.
I don't know if I agree with this with Solis. I think they're going to play one more.
I think
they're going to finish the half inning.
I think he told our own plate umpire, let's just finish this out. There's no reason to stop it.
The Oaks have all the momentum here. The last thing you want to do is let the Foresters catch their breath and have a chance to win this ball game.
Wow, 3 runs in the inning, 2 around by way of 2-out hits. Swing and a miss here. Strike 1 to Bryce Vitt.
And Tillman at third has to beware of any ball in the dirt scoring on anything he can, as we're going to see a pinch runner.
Yeah, Will Pickett's coming in place of Bart West.
A clutch hit for Bart West.
Will Pickett.
Wow. Jinx.
Said it at the same time because that's how remarkable it was.
This game, no matter what happens, has been the best game of the season, I'm sure, for both these teams, with exceptions to the Foresters' no-hitter against the Blues. That's also an incredible game. The 0-1 pitch, a big swing and a miss on the 93-mile-an-hour fastball for strike 2. And once again, 2 strikes up on the board. Crochet is dealing. Can the Oaks do it for a 3rd consecutive time with 2 strikes and 2 away? We're about to find out. Fouled back by Bryce Vitt. We'll do it again. No balls and 2 strikes.
Watch out for the slider here. 3 straight fastballs. He has not seen the curveball yet. If he sees it and catches up to it, that would be very impressive.
Bryce Vitt has 2 triples to lead the team. He is batting .214 as well on the season. 0-2 runner goes the slider. Cold strike 3, and this game is over.
Yeah, there it was. It was.
You called it, Jordan Brenner. The Oaks' luck ran out finally, but they were able to make it one heck of a ball game. Well done by both these teams. You have to tip your cap. The final inning, 3 runs, 3 hits, 1 error, and 2 left on base. The final line for you, the Foresters win at 6 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors. They strand 8 on base. The Oaks get 5 runs on 13 hits, 3 errors. They strand 11 on base. This has been an incredible ball game. The Oaks have to feel good about how they played. Though they were the 4th quarter team, they could only come back late in this ball game. You have to tip your cap to the Foresters, though. What a game they played. They got out early. They stifled this offense, and they really showed why they're the best team in the CCL, at least right now.
Yeah, a gut-wrenching loss for the Oaks. And, I mean, they came back. I'll give them credit. 4 runs in the final 2 innings to make this interesting. They lose 6-5, but at the end of the day, the difference in this game was how much more polished the Foresters were on the mound and on the defensive side. The Oaks defense, not sharp again. If they were, they kept that game closer. This rally would not have come up short, but rather would have resulted in maybe a walk-off win.
The winning pitcher goes to James Notary. The losing pitcher goes to Brandon Ponticelli. No save here because the team was up by 4 runs when Crochet came in. By the way, 3 hours and 13 minutes was your game time. This was an incredible game. You can go down the line. Sam Shaken went 1 for 5. He did strike out 3 times but had a single. Brandon Lewis went 2 for 5. He reached 3 times, the one by way of an error. Drew Sims got a clutch base hit on a pinch hit back in the 9th inning. Chase Cockrell went 4 for 5. The one time the Oaks needed him, though, he did strike out, but still, for his Oaks debut of 2018 to go 4 for 5 is pretty good. Michael Spears had himself quite a day as well, 2 for 4 with a walk and 2 singles, a stolen base and a run scored. Michael Tillman went 2 for 5, 3 strikeouts, 2 singles, 1 when it really counted there in the 9th inning. Bart West had a great day. He went 2 for 4 with an RBI sacrifice. 1 RBI single in the 9th and a single back in the 8th. Zach Kamenko went 0 for 3, and Tanner Wright went 0 for 3 for the Foresters. Everybody that came up to hit for the Foresters, with the exception of Gambale and Ryan Cash, reached base. They are such a force to be reckoned with. They win round 1 of the 4-round bout, the boxing match that is Conejo Oaks and Foresters baseball, by a score of 6-5. Tomorrow's game is going to be really fun if the Oaks play the way that they did today against the Arroyo Seco Saints. But, wow, what a game for the Foresters. They are going to play very well, I think, against the SoCal Catch. That team has a lot on their hands in the next 2 days.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think if you're the Oaks, you take this game and you run with it. I think this should give you a lot of confidence. The bats are starting to wake up. The game is starting to come all here. This Foresters team, they looked unbeatable up until today. They were unbeatable. They still are unbeatable because they're undefeated. But the Oaks gave them a run for their money, and they need to take that and run because now they should have the confidence that they can beat any team in the country. This is one of the best teams in the country. They almost beat them.
They stuck with them right until the very end, and we're going to have to leave it there. Once again, the Foresters down the Oaks 6-5. The Foresters are now 10-0 on the season, 7-0 in CCL play. The Oaks are 5-6 on the season, 4-6 in CCL play. We'll be back here tomorrow pretty soon at 4:15 West Coast time for the Oaks and the Arroyo Seco Saints. A game that should be really, really fun. But until then, we're going to sign off for everybody who made this broadcast possible, from the Forester side to the Oaks side, for my broadcasting partner Jordan Brenner and our wonderful producer Sean McKinnon. My name is John, signing off.